Chapter 547. Prepare to retreat. Facing the golden lightning birds and countless arcs of lightning, Elder Shui Yun couldn't remain calm anymore. The azure sky-water border that enveloped the three sects' teams was in danger and could shatter at any moment. Although Elder Shui Yun was powerful and had a tattered earth-grade weapon, there was a limit to her power when facing the sovereign-level demonic beast's human wave tactic. On top of that, the skeletal division leader's ghost corpse cursed array was slowly compressing the green sky-water border, and the power of the curse had already seeped into the bodies of the experts. Hee, you want to run? Do you think it'll be that easy? The eye of heaven faintly smiled as it looked down from high in the clouds. Zhao Feng controlled the kings of the beast horde to affect the entire beast horde. His main focus was obviously the lightning bird horde. Whoosh! Thousands of thunderbirds stood in the sky within a radius of 5 to 6 kilometers, launching long-range lightning strikes to wear down the green sky-water border. The golden-feathered Thunderbird King's lightning attacks were powerful and overbearing. Every time it attacked, it caused the azure sky-water boundary to shake. This was only because Master Shui Yun had a strong cultivation technique and a broken earth-grade weapon, the green sky-water meteoric pearl, or else she wouldn't be able to last for long. Yenyu, lead the group and break out. I'll cover you. Elder Shui Yun's hand released a bright blue light. When the dark green water pearl in front of her burst out a layer of enormous water ripples that swept across the area within a radius of several miles. In that instant, everything within several miles was covered in a layer of blue light, and it was as if one was in a bottomless ocean. Whoosh! The first to bear the brunt of the attack was the ghost corpse cursed formation. Half of the thick gray smoke had been dispersed, and the flames were dimming. Furthermore, its power was still declining. Boom! The lightning birds in the sky and the demonic beasts nearby were all reduced to a bloody mess. The vast power that swept through everything caused the void in the nearby area to tremble and become unstable. A broken earth-grade weapon can unleash such terrifying power in the hands of a sovereign? The eye of heaven on the top of the clouds seemed to be wary. Shui Yun's attack just then was enough to destroy the entire Broken Moon clan, and there wouldn't be a single person left alive. Destroying a small sect with one move. How could a human compete with this kind of power? Not far away, the towering tree demon howled miserably as it suffered a heavy blow. Even though Zhao Feng had deliberately kept a distance from the thunderbirds in the sky, there were still over 1,000 casualties. Elder Shui Yun's pale face turned red after unleashing that peerless attack. However, in such a critical moment, she did not hesitate at all. Die, you beast! Elder Shui Yun unleashed a wave of water that killed all the beasts within half a mile and charged towards the golden-feathered lightning bird king. Their target was the demonic beast king. If you want to fight, then fight. Zhao Feng used his full strength to control the golden lightning bird king and unleashed its agility and lightning talent to fight with Elder Shui Yun in the clouds. Kill! The other experts of the three sects, led by Yi Yenyu, forced themselves to break through the encirclement. Luckily, most of Zhao Feng's attention was on controlling the golden lightning bird king to fight Elder Shui Yun. In the sky, the battle between Elder Shui Yun and the golden lightning bird king shook heaven and earth, and the shockwaves swept across 10 miles. Because the gap was too small, Zhao Feng brought the battle to the outer edge of the mysterious canyon. Elder Shui Yun could only be led by the nose. If she didn't stall the golden lightning bird king and the other beasts, the others would probably be unable to break through. This woman's strength is monstrous. The skeletal division leader waved the black flag and let the ghost corpse cursed array absorb the blood, flesh, and souls of the beasts around it, then attacked Elder Shui Yun from below. This was equivalent to Elder Shui Yun had to deal with 2 sovereigns and 2,000 beasts in a short amount of time. On the towering mountain, the experts of the three sects all held their breaths. The battle in front of them was too shocking. Even someone as strong as Elder Shui Yun was in danger. Skeletal division leader, go and kill the others. Zhao Feng's voice sounded. Okay. The skeletal division leader put away the ghost corpse cursed array and turned into a blurry mist as it charged toward Yi Yanyu and company. Zhao Feng split some of his attention to control the lightning birds and beasts on the ground to stop Yi Yanyu and company from escaping. Shameless brat. Elder Shui Yun's face was filled with coldness as she looked at the Eye of Heaven. In order to cover the escape of the group, she had to use her Earth-grade weapon and large-scale techniques, which expended a lot of energy. At this moment in time, Elder Shui Yun was expending a large amount of Yuan Qi every second. However, Zhao Feng controlled the Golden Lightning Bird King to move around and didn't fight her head-on. Instead, he sent the skeletal division leader to kill the others. Arg! A cry sounded from afar. The first casualty of the group finally appeared. A peak True Lord rank had fallen. Even though the fallen True Lord rank was stronger than Tianma, he died a horrible death. Zhe. The skeletal division leader waved the black flag and the gold and silver whip as it chased after the group. Earlier, the curse power of the Grand Ghost Corpse formation had already corroded them, draining their blood qi and leaving them with hidden injuries. At this moment, the skeletal division leader and the lightning birds in the sky had an obvious advantage. Water Spirit Divine Change. A cold light appeared on Elder Shui Yun's pale face. D. A layer of deep blue light condensed around Elder Shui Yun's body, giving off a weird twisting feeling. Unbelievably, it was as if her attractive figure had merged with the azure glow, causing ripples to appear in the air as if it was in liquid form. Chio! The golden lightning that filled the sky struck Elder Shui Yun's body, but it was as if they had struck a liquid ethereal spirit, there was no force behind it. What kind of secret technique is this? Zhao Feng's heart jumped. He didn't know what kind of secret technique Elder Shui Yun had used, but her body seemed to turn into liquid and become one with the blue light. When on top of that, Elder Shui Yun's water blue body suddenly grew by a few meters. She was like a goddess of water, and her every action seemed to contain the power to topple mountains. In that state, Elder Shui Yun's defense and battle power were multiplied by several times. Whoosh! A flood of blue light spread out with Elder Shui Yun at the center and swept over a dozen miles. Instantly, the Thunderbirds nearby suffered heavy casualties. Hundreds of them died at every moment. The golden-winged lightning bird king howled in pain, and this was even after Zhao Feng used its agility to its advantage. Bastard, die! Elder Shui Yun was like a god condensed from blue water as she unleashed waves of water, summoning the boundless power of nature. The golden lightning bird king only lasted for a few breaths before it was slain by Elder Shui Yun. At this moment, more than half of the surrounding Thunderbirds were dead or injured. After the monster beast king fell, the horde of beasts scattered in all directions without anyone to command them. Elder Shui Yun let out a breath, and her body started to slowly condense. After returning to her original form, Elder Shui Yun's face was as white as paper, and she felt powerless. Obviously, even though using a secret technique like water spirit transformation had a nearly invincible defense, the price to pay for it was also extremely great. Furthermore, Elder Shui Yun had expended a lot of energy before this. Wind Lightning Eye Flame. The Eye of Heaven on top of the clouds flashed with traces of purple flames. Boom! A dragon-shaped whirlwind of translucent purple azure wind lightning flame gave off a destructive aura as it slammed into the feeble Elder Shui Yun, who had just recovered her physical form. Not good! The experts of the three sects exclaimed in the outside world. In the image, the terrifying wind lightning eye flame instantly engulfed Elder Shui Yun. Bam! Elder Shui Yun's body fell from the sky and smashed into the mountain. Wisps of purple fire and wind surrounded the ground, forming a 100-yard-wide pit. That wind lightning eye flame had reached its peak. That wind lightning eye flame probably has the power to kill normal sovereigns. The skeletal division leader's heart shook. At this moment, Whether it was Yi Yanyu and the others who were escaping or the experts of the three sects who were watching the battle from the outside, they all fell into a momentary silence. Elder Shui Yun. Yi Yanyu and company's hearts shook as they looked at the large hole. A wisp of blue water started to appear in the hole. Soon after, a delicate, charred, and blurry figure holding a dark blue water droplet flew out of the pit. That person. The people from the other parties were stunned. Was that Elder Shui Yun, who was emitting black smoke and had no clothes covering her body, the holy and dignified Elder Shui Yun in his heart? Retreat, retreat. Elder Shui Yun barely spat out 2 words as a layer of blue water surrounded her body. The scorched marks on her body started to slowly heal, and a sliver of color could be seen. A while later, the weak-looking Elder Shui Yun caught up to Yi Yanyu and company. The majority of her body started to recover, but her face was still unsightly. Let's find a place to hide in the ruins. Elder Shui Yun's body was on the verge of collapsing, but she tried her best to hold on. She even used a wave of blue water to heal the others. At this moment, over half of Elder Shui Yun's group had died. Zhao Feng used the Eye of Heaven to control the nearby beasts and work with the skeletal division leader to chase after Elder Shui Yun. Zhe, bitch, when I catch you, I'll make you taste all kinds of humiliation. The skeletal division leader was smug as it chased after Elder Shui Yun. If this continued, Elder Shui Yun's group would most likely be wiped out. This was because Elder Shui Yun's body and mind were both injured, and her battle power was at its weakest. Right at this moment a voice sounded in the soul dimension, skeletal division leader, it's over. Shua. The Eye of Heaven in the air suddenly disappeared. Zhao Feng, victory is in sight. I'm still waiting to capture that bitch alive. The skeletal division leader said unwillingly. Thinking about how it had been completely crushed by Elder Shui Yun, it was obviously unhappy that it was about to take revenge. However, the skeletal division leader grumbled, but it didn't go against Zhao Feng's orders. He knew that Zhao Feng's control over the situation with his Eye of Heaven wasn't something he could compare to. Chapter 548. A while later, the skeletal division leader returned to where the towering tree Yao was. On the branch, Zhao Feng sat cross-legged with a pale face. Sweat could be seen on his forehead. Over half of his eye bloodline power had been used up. Even the towering tree demon beneath him looked dispirited and listless. This scene made the skeletal division leader understand. At the same time, its heart jumped. This was the weakest Zhao Feng had been since he entered the Purple Saint ruins. In the previous battle, Zhao Feng had used up too much of his eye bloodline power to push Elder Shui Yun's group into despair. If this continued, he would have been completely drained like Elder Shui Yun. Master, if we had put in a bit more effort just then, we could have annihilated this group. The skeletal division leader said regretfully. Zhao Feng had held back and didn't let himself be completely drained, so the skeletal division leader had almost no chance of winning. Skeletal division leader, I didn't chase after them because I was worried about you. Even if I'm completely drained, you won't have any chance. Zhao Feng glanced at the skeletal division leader. The skeletal division leader's heart jumped. It couldn't hide any of its thoughts from Zhao Feng. Master, you mean? The skeletal division leader asked carefully. After teaming up with the towering tree Yao, Zhao Feng's power was almost heaven-defying. His Eye of Heaven could control any beast horde. If we don't care about the price and annihilate this group, we'll have to pay an even greater price. Zhao Feng looked into the sky. At this moment, in the outside world, the expressions of the experts from the three sects became solemn. In the scryer image, Zhao Feng seemed to be staring at them. It's all thanks to Elder Shui Yun, who specializes in healing and defense. If it was a normal sovereign, they would have been wiped out already. No matter what, she managed to survive in the ruins. The experts from the three sects discussed in a low tone. Elder Shui Yun was calm and composed. Although she had lost, they still admired her for being able to do this. After all, the opponents the three sects were facing were monstrous existences. When the Void Cave stabilizes the next time, we'll send a powerful combat team. We should be able to turn the situation around. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's face was calm. However, the situation in the Purple Saint Ruins caused the expressions of the three sects to become solemn. In the following days, Zhao Feng didn't tell the Skeletal Division leader to chase after Elder Shui Yun and the others. Instead, he focused on setting up a repairing array and an energy-gathering array. The Skeletal Division leader's main mission was to craft the Ghost Corpse Curse. Zhao Yufei was in charge of the repair of the spatial holes and the construction of some formations. 3 days. Zhao Feng had his back to the towering tree Yao, so his soul and eye bloodline power recovered extremely quickly. During this time, he also controlled some demonic beasts to do some manual labor. In these 3 days, the group led by Elder Shui Yun was still recovering from their injuries. This was especially so for Elder Shui Yun. She was too heavily injured, and even though she was skilled in healing and had great recovery abilities, she wouldn't be able to recover in a short period of time. On top of that, the other members of the group were being corroded by the Ghost Corpse Curse, and Elder Shui Yun had to use her Yuan Qi to help them dissolve the curse. This was only because Elder Shui Yun was a famous healer of the 3 sections. If it were a normal sovereign, they wouldn't be able to dissolve the curse. Elder Shui Yun had expended a lot of energy to dissolve the curse. However, she couldn't just watch them die or else more than half of the other members of the group would die. Furthermore, during the healing process, Elder Shui Yun felt uneasy. It was as if there was an eye coldly watching her every move. This feeling was like a needle piercing into her back. Finally, on the 4th day, the group of the 3 sects faced danger. There were 4 or 5 demon beast hordes nearby, surrounding the valley where everyone was recuperating. Under the onslaught of hundreds and thousands of beasts, the valley was soon flattened. The beast hordes were all led by Yao Kings at the half-step True Spirit realm, and they mainly harassed the group. Elder Shui Yun's group hadn't recovered yet, so they had to participate. A few days later, this happened several times a day. The group of the 3 sects couldn't rest in peace. The ambushes of the beasts were extremely intelligent and didn't follow common sense. Some of the beasts had unique abilities. For example, some beasts could drill out of the ground during battle. Some of them had the ability to hide themselves or specialize in mental energy techniques and could release a deadly poison. After all, the Purple Saint Ruins had been preserved in its ancient state and there were countless beasts with weird abilities. On the 5th day, the group of the 3 sects finally had casualties. Elder Shui Yun was doing her best to protect the group and heal the other members during the battle, so she was completely exhausted. Zhao Feng's ambush and harassment tactics were extremely cunning. He didn't target Elder Shui Yun, but the other experts in the group. Elder Shui Yun's mentality and strength were impenetrable. Zhao Feng admired this. However, his target was the other members of the 3 sects who had weaknesses. This way, Elder Shui Yun couldn't even focus on healing herself, let alone counterattack Zhao Feng. Time passed. Casualties in the teams of the 3 sects occurred almost every day. Later on, when the 3 sects fought, the Eye of Heaven would appear and ambush them without any resistance. Wind Lightning Eye Flame. Azure Eye Sharp Slash. Illusion City Maze. Zhao Feng's Eye of Heaven would come and take a life when it was free and force the group into danger. Until the 10th day, the members of the 3 sects died one by one. Finally, only Elder Shui Yun, Yi Yanyu, and another half-step Origin Core realm remained. The group that had started out with around 20 people now only had 3 people left. This Zhao Feng, he's been thinking of ways to torture us. Yi Yanyu and company had been tortured. They hadn't had any peace in the past few days, and they were always on guard. Only 3 remained. Elder Shui Yun had only recovered 50% of her Yuan Qi, and Yi Yanyu and the other half-step origin core realm weren't much stronger. In the outside world, on a mountain, the expressions of the three kings became solemn. If he tried his best, Zhao Feng would have had the ability to kill Elder Shui Yun's group. However, he didn't do it. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess said solemnly. It wasn't hard to see. Most of Zhao Feng's energy was used to stabilize the three holes. On the surface, it seemed like Elder Shui Yun and company were being tortured by Zhao Feng. However, in reality, this was just Zhao Feng spending a bit of energy on Elder Shui Yun's group. On average, they would only come 2 or 3 times a day, so it didn't use much energy on Zhao Feng. Kings, the spatial holes in the Purple Saint ruins are becoming smaller and smaller, and the major holes are stabilizing. Stabilizing the spatial meridians will become more and more difficult. A piece of bad news came from Grandmaster Yin Kong. The expressions of the three Void God Realm Kings changed slightly. How many more times can we send them? The Saint Moon Ant Goddess asked. At least once, and at most twice. If this continues, there won't be much of a chance for us to send them a third time. Grandmaster Yin Kong sighed. He gazed at the scene in the image and sighed in his heart. Zhao Feng's control of the situation wasn't just strong. He didn't care about winning or losing right now. He just wanted to destroy Elder Shui Yun's group. Zhao Feng's focus was on repairing the holes, but he would spend some of his time to delay the recovery of Elder Shui Yun's group. When the image in the sky above the mountain started to become blurry and unstable. What's going on? The image is blurry. The experts of the three sects exclaimed. At this moment in time. Within the ruins, the repair of the three major holes was starting to show results. Brother Zhao Feng. The hole in the mysterious canyon has been repaired 60 to 70%, and the other two have been repaired 80 to 90%. We're also looking for and repairing some other obvious areas of weakness. Zhao Yufei's voice sounded. The reason why the mysterious canyon had only been repaired 60 to 70% was because the power of the three Void God Realm Kings and the battle between sovereigns had taken place here. Therefore, even though this area was being repaired the most, the progress was the slowest. Looks like the next group from the 3 two-star sects will come from here. Zhao Feng slowly closed his eyes. Over the past few days, he continued to comprehend while he was recovering. After his mental energy had touched the level of the origin core realm, Zhao Feng's comprehension of the purple wind lightning had increased. Furthermore, the water spirit divine change that Elder Shui Yun had used that day had been seen through by Zhao Feng's God's spiritual eye. The water spirit divine change uses a unique water bloodline to liquefy the body. Although this technique seems incredible, 80% of the human body is made up of water yuan particles. Zhao Feng started to comprehend. He had copied the theory behind Elder Shui Yun's secret technique through his God's spiritual eye. And now, what Zhao Feng needed to do was to comprehend and copy the bloodline skill onto his own body. Because he also had a water bloodline and the eye of water, Zhao Feng's comprehension of the water spirit divine change was extremely fast. In order to prevent others from spying on him, Zhao Feng hid within the branches of the towering tree Yao. Time passed by quickly. Half a month had passed since Shui Yun's group had entered the ruins. In this half a month, Zhao Feng's comprehension of the purple wind lightning had increased by 1/5. His mental energy level had also reached the core of the origin core realm. After all, Zhao Feng had fused with the towering tree Yao for a long time and had fought with sovereigns multiple times. Apart from my true force cultivation, which is close to the peak true lord rank, there's no difference between me and normal sovereigns. In some aspects, I even have an advantage. Zhao Feng felt that his strength had increased greatly. During this time, the 100 Ghost Corpse plan had reached 38% completion. There were now 38 cursed ghost corpses in the 10,000 ghost cursed array, which increased its power. On this day, a strong spatial disturbance came from the center of the mysterious canyon. when a silver hole appeared in the center of the canyon. Zhao Feng, watch out. The second group of the three sects will enter the Purple Saint space through the hole. The Purple Saint partial spirit warned. Shwa shwa shwa. More than a dozen powerful auras shot out from the hole. The leader was a slightly fat youth whose cultivation had reached the origin core realm. His aura was even more terrifying than normal sovereigns. It was Lu Tianyi. Chapter 549. Lu Tianyi's group had 1 origin core realm, 3 half-step origin core realms and 10 peak true lord ranks. Overall, it was smaller than the group from last time. From this, one could see that Zhao Feng's repair of the hole in the dimension was effective. However, the auras of the experts from the 3 sects surpassed those of the same cultivation. Zhao Feng. Come out and die. Lu Tianyi's voice was sharp and his eyes were like the golden moon in the night with a cold killing intent that could pierce one's heart. As soon as he appeared, Lu Tianyi's eyes locked onto Zhao Feng. The members of the team behind him were all filled with fighting spirit. Their gazes were cold and sharp as they gathered their strength. It was obvious. This was a standard combat team, and it was led by Lu Tianyi, a newly advanced venerable who loved to fight. One thing was worth mentioning. There was a beautiful girl in the group with a dark crescent moon mark on her forehead. Her purple hair blew in the wind and she was like a fairy. This woman was sexy and graceful. Her every frown and every smile was filled with a fatal charm. She was like a lotus in a valley that bloomed with a mysterious beauty. Mysterious, weird and weird. She was Zhuang Wan, of the Moon Demon Palace. She had entered the second floor of the treasured palace just like Zhao Feng and obtained a powerful inheritance. Lu Tianyi, we can meet up with Elder Shui Yun first and come up with a plan. Zhuang Wan, took out a special jade pendant and inserted a wisp of qi of true spirit. However, Lu Tianyi didn't bother with her, his golden eyes were filled with killing intent as he locked onto Zhao Feng. When enemies met, their eyes would turn red. Thinking back in the Purple Saint ruins, Lu Tianyi used his overwhelming battle power to force Zhao Feng and the towering trio back. But in the end, he still lost to Zhao Feng. Lu Tianyi remembered the pain of being stuck in his throat by the mutated scorpion. Relax. Lu Tianyi said in a deep tone, I have a powerful killing move and under normal circumstances, I can easily kill this brat. After saying this, his body radiated a powerful yuan qi and it was as if he was the center of heaven and earth. Many people in the team behind him licked their lips. A great battle was about to break out at any moment. Under such circumstances, Zhao Feng and the towering tree demon under his feet felt extremely pressured. What a powerful aura, the skeletal division leader's heart shook. He expected that the second group of people from the 3 sects had already arrived. Hee. Since the 3 sects have come to visit, how can I not give you some gifts? Zhao Feng sat cross-legged on the spot, unafraid. As soon as he finished speaking, Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye suddenly contracted as a mysterious mental energy power entered the ground. Boom! The ground beneath the feet of Lu Tian's team violently quaked, as a terrifying sound that could split mountains and split the earth resounded. Crack! In the center of the canyon, the earth split open, and a thick and powerful ancient aura came from the crack. Not good. The group from the 3 sects couldn't even stand properly. Their powerful auras created a strong wind pressure that made it hard for everyone to breathe. Even someone as strong as Lu Tianyi felt his heart tighten and his body sink. Everyone, watch out. There's probably a sovereign-level beast hiding underground. Zhuang Wan, exclaimed and instinctively leapt into the air. Woo! A majestic and heavy roar came from the huge crack. Boom! Then, a terrifying pulling force as heavy as Mount Tai came from the crack in the ground. No! Arg! The members of the 3 sects panicked. Bam! 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 In the blink of an eye, half of the team was pulled into the crevice by the powerful gravity. Miserable screams rang out one after another. Wah! Wah! A few of the stronger members barely managed to block the pull, but their bodies felt as if they were being smashed by a 1,000,000-kilogram mountain and they all spat out blood. Apart from Lu Tianyi, the survivors were all heavily injured. Zhuang Wan's injuries weren't as serious, but she still spat out a mouthful of blood. That's... Everyone stared at the crack in shock. Wu from the crack, a stone vein giant that was 30 meters long crawled out. Its entire body was made of brownish-yellow crystals. This stone giant seemed to be from an ancient race, and its cultivation had reached the origin core realm. Its pressure alone was enough to kill more than half of the 3-sex group. Hee, guests. What do you think of this greeting gift? Zhao Feng sat cross-legged on the branch with a faint smile. He had already predicted that the next group would be sent here. How could he not have made any preparations? The outside world might be able to see what he was doing. However, this stone giant was hidden underground, and the outside world wouldn't be able to detect it. Caught off guard, Lu Tianyi's group was dealt a heavy blow the moment they appeared. In the outside world, on top of the mountain, the expressions of the 3 martial monarchs changed dramatically. This second group was supposed to be the key to turning the situation around. However, before the battle even started, over half of Lu Tianyi's group had been killed. Apart from Lu Tianyi and Zhuang Wan, everyone else was heavily injured and their battle power dropped. Kill. Zhao Feng spat out a single word as he merged his eye bloodline power with the wood spirit essence soul and controlled the stone giant to charge toward Lu Tianyi's group. Roar. The stone giant roared, and an invisible force shook the air. It waved its fists, and large crystalline figures with power even stronger than the physical mountain instantly swept toward Lu Tianyi's group. Wah! Peng! Before the attack even arrived, 1 or 2 more people's bones were shattered by an invisible force and they died. Fuck off! Lu Tianyi shouted loudly, fiercely waving a single hand. Layers upon layers of golden moon wavy blades piled up to form a golden moon ocean that covered the sky and covered the earth. The piercingly cold and beautiful golden waves of light shone and illuminated a radius of more than 10 li. Ding ding ding. The stone giant, who bore the brunt of the attack, was cut and devoured by the countless golden moon wavy blades, sparks flying off its body. Zhao Feng and the towering tree Yao both felt the shockwave. The golden moon ocean was made up of countless sharp golden moon blades, and they were powerful enough to devour everything. A layer of water appeared on Zhao Feng's body and absorbed the power of the golden moon blades. The towering tree Yao under his feet had countless cracks on its branches, and it could be said to be riddled with holes. This was just the shockwave from Lu Tianyi's attack. Luckily, the stone giant's defense is extremely strong. It's similar to Shi Qingtian's bloodline, but it's even purer. Zhao Feng sighed in his heart. Lu Tianyi was indeed worthy of being one of the top combat geniuses of the 3 sections. His destructive style was completely different from Elder Shui Yun's. Clang! Boom! At the center of the golden moon ocean, Lu Tianyi and the stone giant clashed several times, causing the heaven-earth yuan qi to boil. Arg! Screams came from the 3-sex group once more. Zhao Feng purposely guided the stone giant to use gravity to lock the other members in place. In just a breath or two. In Lu Tianyi's team, only Lu Tianyi and Zhuang Wan were left. The others had all died. The situation was dire for the 3 sections. Zhuang Wan, go meet up with Elder Shui Yun. I will definitely take revenge for what happened back then. Lu Tianyi waved his hand and pushed Zhuang Wan, a mile away. Lu Tianyi's eyes turned bloodshot as he drove his bloodline and executed a powerful battle technique. His battle prowess skyrocketed, and the rock giant was forced to retreat again and again. This Lu Tianyi's strength is terrifying. Normal sovereigns from the Azure Flower continent probably won't even be able to block a few moves from him. Zhao Feng couldn't help but click his tongue. Back then, he hadn't truly fought with Lu Tianyi. Instead, he had used the little thieving cat to throw the mutated scorpion into Lu Tiany's body. At this moment, Lu Tiany's battle power rose. Even the stone giant with its ancient bloodline wasn't able to block Lu Tiany's attacks. Unfortunately, this stone giant has been asleep for too long. Its defense is strong, but it can only use 60 to 70% of its full battle power. Zhao Feng controlled the stone giant to retreat as he tried to lure Lu Tiany away from the hole. Fortunately, the loophole in the mysterious canyon had been mostly repaired. It could basically withstand a battle between venerables. Master, I should be able to take down this brat. The skeletal division leader's voice sounded. Over the past few days, there had been 38 cursed ghost corpses. The power of the ghost corpse cursed array would definitely increase. There's no rush. Zhao Feng smiled and shook his head. After merging with the wood spirit essence soul, he didn't expend much energy to control the stone giant. This stone giant was the strongest existence in the mysterious canyon. Its strength was stronger than the towering tree Yao and the ancient scorpion. Zhao Feng had sensed its existence when he entered the ruins last time, but he didn't dare to touch it. This time, in order to block the second wave of danger from the three sects, Zhao Feng spent some time to control the stone giant underground. It could be said that apart from the purple saint partial spirit, no one else knew this secret. Boom! The battle between Lu Tiany and the stone giant wasn't decided in a short amount of time. In terms of battle power, Lu Tiany had the advantage, but the stone giant's defense was too strong. It could take the attacks of normal sovereigns head-on. Lu Tiany was too impulsive. It's not all his fault. Who would have thought that Zhao Feng would have prepared a stone giant of an ancient race underground? The experts of the three sects sighed in the outside world. If Lu Tiany had chosen to retreat and meet up with Elder Shui Yun, the situation wouldn't be so bad. However, how could a genius like Lu Tiany admit defeat so easily? Furthermore, his enemy was right in front of him. Mysterious Canyon. The battle had reached its climax. Although the stone giant wasn't able to win, it was still able to bite onto Lu Tiany. After fighting for a long time, sweat started to appear on Lu Tiany's forehead. After all, his battle power came from his bloodline power, so he couldn't maintain it for too long. Earth-grade weapon, Sky Tooth Wolf Moon Blade. A sharp light flashed in Lu Tiany's eyes as a devilish purple blade appeared in his hand. The handle was a wolf head, and the blade was shaped like a crescent moon. It was a complete earth-grade weapon. The instant this blade appeared, Zhao Feng felt the Ice Imperial Spear in his body become excited. The forbidden power within the Ice Imperial Spear seemed to awaken. A complete earth-grade weapon? Lu Tiany. This is your trump card? Zhao Feng felt the power of the ancient Ice Imperial Spear seep out from the depths of the Ice Imperial Spear and flow through his ice and water bloodlines. Excitement appeared in his eyes. He didn't think that Lu Tiany's earth-grade weapon could awaken the mysterious power within the Ice Imperial Spear. Even his bloodline power had been stimulated to some extent. Chapter 550. This was the first time Zhao Feng had seen a complete earth-grade weapon. In the Azure Flower continent where he was born, earth-grade weapons ended a dynasty. Even in the world of sects, they were legendary existences. Die. The Heavenly Teeth Wolf Moon Saber, in Lu Tiany's hand, transformed into a terrifying shadow of a crimson-purple demonic wolf, dragging a dazzling saber light that was 2 to 3 miles long, shattering the endless yuan qi and causing the void to faintly tremble. The only thing left in heaven and earth was the scarlet-purple blade. The scarlet-purple demonic wolf at the head of the blade radiated a dominating aura of a Yao Emperor. Under this blade, the sun and moon lost their color and heaven and earth changed color. Within 1,000 miles of the Purple Saint ruins, countless beings knelt on the ground and worshipped out of instinct. Is this the true power of an earth-grade weapon? Zhao Feng sat cross-legged, creating a strong visual impact that made him feel like he was suffocating. This feeling was like a normal being facing the destruction of the earth. The power of a single person was so minuscule. A complete Earth-grade weapon increases one's battle power by too much. In front of this blade, more than half of the sovereigns of the Azure Flower continent will be killed. The skeletal division leader's heart trembled within the 10,000 ghost pearl. Only sovereigns could unleash their true power in the hands of sovereigns. The sovereigns of the Azure Flower continent only had a few fragments of an Earth-grade weapon and couldn't be compared to Lu Tianyi. Furthermore, Lu Tianyi came from a 2.5-star sect, and the techniques he cultivated surpassed normal sovereigns of the Azure Flower continent. Then the dazzling saber aura dragged by the demon wolf phantom engulfed the stone vein giant. Get down! Zhao Feng controlled the stone giant to curl up into a ball to minimize the damage. However, even then, a fissure that was a few feet deep had been slashed open on the rock giant's body, and the surface of the rock giant's body was covered in fragmented marks and cracks. Bits of rock flew about, and it was a horrifying sight. If it was a normal sovereign, they would have lost half their life even if they didn't die from this attack. However, the stone giant's defense was several times stronger than sovereigns of the same cultivation, which was why it didn't receive any fatal injuries. Heavenly Wolf Killing Dragon Slash. The bloodline power in Lu Tianyi's body was further stimulated. The Yuan Qi of Heaven Earth howled as the Skytooth Wolf Moon Blade turned into 3 beams of golden light that slashed towards the stone giant. Dig into the ground. Zhao Feng's expression changed. The power of Lu Tianyi's attack this time was virtually doubled compared to the previous time. Bang! Rumble, the stone giant's entire body shone with earth-colored radiance. Its body merged into the cracks in the ground, but it still suffered heavy blows. Everything within a 10-mile radius seemed to be affected by the destructive force. At that moment, the entire mysterious canyon began to reverberate with earth-shattering sounds. Oh! Within the cracks, the stone giant roared with all its strength. 2 to 3 deep and long gashes had appeared on its body, and its injuries were nearly fatal. The stone giant's eyes were locked onto Lu Tianyi with hatred and madness. Whoosh, dust and debris filled the sky, enveloping the entire region. The shocking wind howled, not stopping for a long time. Hee, very, very strong. While Zhao Feng was shocked, the corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. At this moment, he quietly let go of his control of the stone giant. The stone giant had suffered heavy blows and was covered in injuries. Even if it wanted to protect itself, it would still try its best to retaliate against Lu Tianyi. Being completely engulfed in hatred and anger, it only had Lu Tianyi in its eyes. It wanted to crush the latter's body. Roar! The stone giant's body shone with a brownish-yellow light and shot into the sky. Its body seemed to have become stronger and it seemed to have activated some kind of bloodline power as it charged towards Lu Tianyi. Die! Lu Tianyi sneered and waved his earth-grade divine weapon, attacking the stone giant fiercely. Of course, he didn't notice that Zhao Feng had let go of his control of the stone giant. Lu Tianyi only had one goal left. After killing the stone giant, he would be able to take Zhao Feng's head. And this goal was getting closer and closer. Within 3 to 5 moves, he would be able to kill the stone giant. Wonderful, wonderful. Zhao Feng sat cross-legged amongst the leaves, a layer of blue water surrounding his body that absorbed the shockwaves of the attacks as much as possible. Even though the stone giant was in a life-and-death situation, he was still relaxed. From the looks of it, Zhao Feng wasn't worried about the danger that was about to arrive. Something's wrong. This Zhao Feng can't control an ancient race so easily. The experts of the 3 sects saw some clues. Damn it. Zhao Feng's already let go of the stone giant. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's expression changed. The expressions of everyone present changed. After so many battles, no one doubted Zhao Feng's threat. In the eyes of the 3 kings, Zhao Feng's threat was even greater than the skeletal division leader. It could be expected. What kind of threat would Zhao Feng pose when he didn't need to control the stone giant? Sky Wolf Fan Star. Lu Tianyi brandished the heavenly teeth wolf moon blade, and the huge malevolent wolf head shadow released millions of bewitching purplish gold light spots, producing a catastrophic forbidden power. On the other hand, Lu Tianyi had forced the stone giant to the brink of death. He licked his lips and felt excited. Being able to kill an ancient bloodline race gave him a greater sense of accomplishment than defeating an ordinary venerable one. Right at this moment, the situation changed. Shua! A translucent blue eye of nothingness appeared in the sky above Lu Tianyi's head. Lu Tianyi's heart jumped as he felt a faint mental energy pressure. At this moment, he was about to activate his inherited secret skill to kill the stone giant. Purple destruction, azure eye-piercing slash. The eye of nothingness turned dark green and a faint purple aura appeared. Shua! An enormous, translucent blade that was surrounded by tiny wisps of purple destruction wind lightning slashed toward Lu Tianyi in an unpredictable trajectory. When the attack got close, Lu Tianyi's soul trembled as he felt an aura of destruction. At this moment, his soul and bloodline were jumping, and the earth-grade weapon in his hand vibrated in warning. Not good. Under this kind of situation, Lu Tianyi didn't have time to kill the stone giant. He barely managed to dodge and circulated the power of his core to protect himself. However, Lu Tianyi's movements were still slightly slow. He had focused too much on killing the stone giant and didn't realize that Zhao Feng had let go of the stone giant. Shua! The purple destruction blade slashed across Lu Tianyi's body, and blood splattered. Arg! Lu Tianyi screamed. Even though he tried to dodge, one of his arms was still sliced off by the wind blade of destruction. This scene dazed the experts of the three sections. Many people could see that Zhao Feng was free, but they didn't expect him to be so dangerous. The Eye of Heaven appeared out of nowhere and sliced off one of Sovereign Lu Tianyi's arms. The Azure Eye Piercing Slash was based on the Heavenly Piercing Eye, and it was Zhao Feng's fastest eye bloodline technique. And this time, Zhao Feng's Azure Eye Piercing Slash contained the essence of the purple wind lightning and the intent of destruction. On top of that, Zhao Feng's eye bloodline power was comparable to a sovereign, and his mental energy level had reached the core of the origin core realm. He had also merged with the wood spirit essence soul and was strengthened by the Eye of Heaven. Under these circumstances, Zhao Feng's Azure Eye Piercing Slash could almost instantly kill normal sovereigns. If it wasn't for the fact that Lu Tianyi's talent and bloodline allowed him to dodge in time, this sneak attack would have taken his life. Lu Tianyi's back was drenched in cold sweat and he felt as if he had just walked through the gates of hell. He finally understood what the Saint Moon Ant Goddess had told him before leaving. Tianyi, although you have a powerful killing move, you can't underestimate the enemy. The biggest threat wasn't the sovereign skeleton, but the true Lord rank Zhao Feng. At this point in time, losing an arm meant that Lu Tianyi's battle power would decrease. Furthermore, where the purple destruction, Azure Eye Piercing Slash hit, the aura of destruction would seep into his body and destroy his life force. Therefore, the injury he received wasn't as simple as having his arm cut off. At the same time, the stone giant below roared and launched a counterattack, the formless gravity slamming into Lu Tianyi. Lu Tianyi's figure flashed and he waved his blade, facing a pincer attack. Above him was the Eye of Heaven and below was the stone giant. What made Lu Tianyi worried was the Eye of Heaven. Ice Soul Shooting Line. A translucent dark blue cold rainbow descended from the sky, carrying with it the power of ice that could freeze all things as it enveloped and engulfed Lu Tianyi. Lu Tianyi was on guard, activating the battle prowess of his bloodline and wielding the power of his earth-grade divine weapon to protect himself. With a pu sound, he blocked this attack. However, Lu Tianyi was fighting on two fronts. Enduring this attack, his body and mind froze, causing his movement speed to plummet. Shua! After failing its attack, the Eye of Heaven disappeared. Now that my comprehension of the purple destruction wind lightning has increased, I'll face an origin core realm head-on. Zhao Feng murmured to himself. Before he finished speaking, his figure disappeared. In the next instant, when a pair of purplish azure wind lightning wings that were 20 feet in length emitted an aura that could intimidate all living things. With a deafening roar, they soared into the sky. In the blink of an eye, the purple and azure wings of wind and lightning brought Zhao Feng above Lu Tiany's head. What? Lu Tiany was fighting with the stone giant when he felt the power of wind and lightning above him, which contained a destructive aura. He couldn't imagine that someone under the origin core realm could have such speed and aura. Purple destruction, wind lightning whip. A whip of wind and lightning condensed in Zhao Feng's hand. It was like a snake of wind and lightning that was dozens of yards long and wrapped around Lu Tiany. Pa! Pa! Boom! Boom! The violet destruction tempest whip was filled with a destructive aura of wind and lightning, and as it coiled around the whip, wind and lightning would explode with shocking might. Shwa! 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 Zhao Feng had the wings of wind and lightning on his back, which increased his speed and usage of wind lightning. In this state, Zhao Feng's mental energy level was comparable to a sovereign's. The threat Zhao Feng posed with just a wave of his hand had reached the level of a sovereign. Lu Tiany was sandwiched from top to bottom and was beaten until he roared in shock and anger. When did Zhao Feng's strength rise to such a level? That wisp of destructive wind and lightning profound meaning is enough to pose a great threat to venerables. Waves appeared in the skeletal division leader's heart. It was slowly recovering its strength and thought that the chances of it being able to fight back would increase, but Zhao Feng had already grown to such a level. Earth-grade inheritance weapon, Ice Imperial Spear. Zhao Feng roared as the wings of wind and lightning behind him flapped, and an illusory figure of an ice-blue spear appeared in his hand. When that icy blue spear's shadow turned from illusory to solid, slowly forming the outline of the earth-grade divine weapon. Chapter 551. Earth-grade inheritance weapon, Ice Imperial Spear. Zhao Feng circulated his bloodline power, and the figure of the earth-grade weapon appeared in front of him. What was different from before? The figure of the earth-grade weapon started to condense and was about to reveal the true body of the Ice Imperial Spear. Bow in the depths of Zhao Feng's bloodline, the Ice Imperial Spear that had turned into countless pieces quickly gathered together and reached Zhao Feng's palm. At a normal time, the Ice Imperial Spear had merged into Zhao Feng's bloodline, making it hard to sense its aura. And now, the Ice Imperial Spear's state was quickly reversed. When the illusory Earth-ranked divine armament instantly transformed into a solid body, revealing a dark blue, crystal-like Emperor Ice Spear. Ice Imperial Spear. A complete Earth-grade weapon. Zhao Feng felt his bloodline power rise to a new level, and the power sleeping within the Ice Imperial Spear was awakened. This came from the Earth-grade weapon in Yu Tianhao's hand. This was because the complete Earth-grade weapon had awakened the Ice Imperial Spear that was sleeping in Zhao Feng's bloodline. Earth-grade weapon. You also have one. Lu Tiany's expression changed dramatically, and his body froze. The instant the Ice Imperial Spear appeared, a cold aura that could freeze everything in heaven and earth enveloped heaven and earth. The sky-tooth wolf moon blade in his hand trembled uneasily and gave off a low hum. Ice Imperial Spear. It's that Earth-grade inheritance weapon. The three Void God Realm Kings stared at the Ice Imperial Spear in Zhao Feng's hand and exclaimed. With the knowledge of the three Void God Realm Kings, they instantly recognized the origin of this spear. Mysterious Canyon. The two Earth-grade weapons hadn't even clashed yet, but their auras intertwined and clashed in the air. Ice Imperial Spear, go! Zhao Feng felt his bloodline power and source of true spirit quickly disappear, and the Ice Imperial Spear in his hand was like a bottomless pit. When Zhao Feng instinctively pushed the Ice Imperial Spear forward, and the Ice Imperial Spear glowed with a dark blue crystalline light as it pierced downwards. In an instant, everything in the surroundings was quickly frozen. With the Ice Imperial Spear as the center, a taboo ancient cold aura surged downwards and spread for 5 miles. At that moment, Be it Lu Tianyi or the nearby towering tree demons, they were instantly frozen by a layer of frost and slowly turned stiff. Puchi. Lu Tianyi's stiff body barely managed to wave the heavenly teeth wolf moon blade. The sinister scarlet-purple wolf head blade aura clashed with the ice lotus cold mist, producing a forbidden aura fluctuation. However, whether it was the flowers, grass, trees, or the saber radiance, they would freeze the moment they encountered the ice imperial spear. Pack pack. With a flap of his purplish azure thunderlight wings, he disappeared from the spot. The next moment, Zhao Feng quickly moved 1,000 feet away to avoid the fluctuation of the forbidden aura. Wow! Although he had dodged in time, he was still hit and spat out a mouthful of blood. His face went white. Although my cultivation is high and my bloodline power isn't bad, it's still a bit difficult for me to use the Ice Imperial Spear with my cultivation at the True Lord rank. A layer of water appeared on Zhao Feng's body as he quickly recovered from his injuries. Below, Lu Tianyi's situation was even worse. His body was covered in frost, and he had taken the pressure of 2 Earth-grade weapons head-on. See, his body swayed, and the blood at the corner of his mouth quickly solidified. Lu Tianyi lost. In the outside world, the Golden Skeleton King sighed. The demonic Tao King surrounded by black mist also shook his head. After losing an arm and having the power of the purple destruction wind lightning enter his body, Lu Tianyi was in a dangerous situation. Tianyi was too rash. He didn't lose because of the difference in strength. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess sighed. She didn't refute what the 2 kings said, but she wasn't too worried. Lu Tianyi, you've lost. The wings of wind and lightning on Zhao Feng's back fluttered and the Ice Imperial Spear in his hand was as deep as the ocean. Zhao Feng. Bullying me with numbers and sneak attacking me from behind, so what if you win? Lu Tianyi gritted his teeth and circulated his true yuan to suppress his injuries. Mockery appeared on Zhao Feng's face as he faced Lu Tianyi's cursing. He didn't say anything, as if he didn't want to explain. Lu Tianyi lost because of 3 reasons. Firstly, he was pincered by Zhao Feng and the stone giant. Until the end, Lu Tianyi wasn't even fighting one-on-one with the earth-ranked weapons. Secondly, Lu Tianyi was careless and underestimated his opponent. Zhao Feng's Eye of Heaven had cut off Lu Tianyi's arm and reduced his battle power. Thirdly, the Ice Imperial Spear had the advantage. Although they were both Earth-grade weapons, Zhao Feng's Ice Imperial Spear was more unique and suppressed Lu Tianyi's Earth-grade weapon. All these reasons led to Lu Tianyi's loss. Hehe, Lu Tianyi. You lost, you lost. Could it be that the stone giant isn't a part of Zhao Feng's strength? Isn't strategizing a part of his strength? A woman's voice rang out in the air. This voice came from the purple Saint Partial Spirit. You. Lu Tianyi was speechless as his face went white and red. Indeed. The stone giant was controlled by Zhao Feng and that was the power of his eye bloodline. Could it be that a beast tamer wasn't allowed to use a spiritual pet? Zhao Feng's Eye of Heaven's attack had come at the perfect time. The Eye of Heaven could cross space and appear anywhere in the Purple Saint ruins. At the same time, this was a display of Zhao Feng's strength. None of this escaped the eyes of the owner of the Purple Saint ruins, the Purple Saint Partial Spirit. It was because of this. Seeing Lu Tianyi curse Zhao Feng, even the Purple Saint Partial Spirit couldn't help but say a few words. Lu Tianyi, I'm not your match in a head-on fight. Unfortunately, this isn't a competition but a battle of life and death. Zhao Feng said emotionlessly. Lu Tianyi's battle power was terrifying. Even if he teamed up with the skeletal division leader, they might not be his match. Furthermore, Zhao Feng's Ice Imperial Spear could only last for a short while. Retreat. Lu Tianyi's face was filled with hatred and unwillingness as he turned into a streak of golden light and sped off into the distance. Although I'm heavily injured, as long as I find Elder Shui Yun, she'll be able to heal me in a short amount of time. Lu Tianyi thought. He wasn't willing to lose this battle. He clearly had strong battle power but lost to a true lord rank due to various reasons. He couldn't take this. You want to run? The wings of wind and lightning on Zhao Feng's back flapped and he turned into a streak of lightning that chased after Lu Tianyi. In terms of speed, Zhao Feng was slightly faster than Lu Tianyi. After all, Zhao Feng's mental energy level had touched the core of a sovereign and he had the wings of wind and lightning. On the other hand, Lu Tianyi's condition was at its lowest and he needed to suppress his injuries. Wind Lightning Eye Flame. Azure Eye Piercing Slash. Zhao Feng used two powerful eye bloodline techniques to smash Lu Tianyi into the ground. Tianyi, hold on a little longer. Elder Shui Yun brought Yi Yanyu and Zhuang Wan over a dozen miles away. Too late. Zhao Feng even put away the Ice Imperial Spear. Lu Tianyi was half kneeling on the ground. His injuries were fatal and his aura was weak. Under this situation, Zhao Feng didn't need to use his eye bloodline or the Ice Imperial Spear to kill Lu Tianyi. Zhao Feng, you'll be the one to die. Lu Tianyi gritted his teeth and took out a faint golden jade talisman. The instant the golden jade talisman appeared, it released a soul-suppressing aura. Zhao Feng's heart jumped. Void God Protection. Lu Tianyi crushed the jade talisman in his hand, and the figure of a golden-robed king appeared behind him. Instantly, a vast and immeasurable godly force permeated the nearby space. At this moment, Zhao Feng, the skeletal division leader, and even Elder Shui Yun and company felt a strong pressure on their souls. Void God Protection. Lu Tianyi still had this hidden card. That golden-robed figure seems to be the strongest Void God Realm King of the Pure Moon spiritual sect, Martial God Jin Huang. The experts of the three sects broke out into discussion. The Golden Skeleton and the demonic Tao King looked at each other in surprise. A faint smile appeared on the Saint Moon Ant Goddess's face. Although Lu Tianyi was strong, he lacked experience. How could the Saint Moon Ant Goddess not know this? Even so, the Saint Moon Ant Goddess still agreed to let Lu Tianyi lead the second group, so she obviously had something to rely on. A complete Earth-grade weapon was Lu Tianyi's guarantee of strength. The Faux God Protection was Lu Tianyi's life-saving talisman and his strongest trump card. This Void God Protection Jade Talisman is stronger than normal and can instantly kill sovereigns at the small origin core realm. Furthermore, that Zhao Feng only has the battle power to threaten sovereigns, but he's not a sovereign. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's smile deepened. Right at this moment, the situation suddenly changed. Jade Dragon Protection. Zhao Feng snickered coldly as a carved dragon jade talisman appeared in his hand. The jade talisman engraved on it shattered with a crack, and an enormous, almost material, ancient azure dragon phantom surged out of it. Woo! The low roar of an ancient true dragon reverberated through the heavens and the earth. That huge ancient true dragon phantom exuded a supreme power that surpassed the heavens and earth. What? The expressions of the experts of the three sects froze. The smile on the Saint Moon Ant Goddess face froze. That's a Void God Protection made from the blood essence of an ancient dragon. Once an ancient dragon matures, its battle power surpasses Void God Realm Kings of the same cultivation. Among the experts of the three sects, there was no lack of discerning people. Boom! The two powers clashed in the air, and the forbidden aura caused space to tremble. It wasn't an illusion. In just half a breath, the figure of the ancient dragon had the clear advantage and quickly devoured the golden-robed figure. Not good. Lu Tianyi's face was ashen. He didn't expect Zhao Feng to have a killing move similar to the Void God Protection, and it was even stronger than his own. Bam! Lu Tianyi's figure quickly retreated and was sent flying several miles away. No one knew if he was dead or alive. Tianyi. Elder Shui Yun flew over and covered Lu Tianyi's body with a layer of blue water. Shua! Shua! Behind him, Yi Yanyu and Zhuang Wan stood on Zhao Feng's left and right. Zhe. A layer of gray, ghostly mist spread in the air. 38 cursed ghost corpses and a creepy gold and silver skeleton appeared in the mist. Only at this moment did the skeletal division leader come out of the 10,000 ghost pearl. It couldn't help but sigh. Zhao Feng had killed the second group of the 3 sects by himself. Chapter 552. Purple Saint Ruins. The battle between Zhao Feng and Lu Tiany's group came to an end. Lu Tiany's eyes were unfocused and his body was stiff. No one knew if he was alive or dead. Even if he wasn't completely dead, he wasn't far from it. In the entire Lu Tian's team, the only one who survived was Zhuang Wan. In the outside world, the expressions of the experts on the mountain were solemn and filled with shock. Lu Tiany's battle power wasn't weak and he had powerful life-saving trump cards, but he was completely suppressed by Zhao Feng from start to finish. In reality, this was the second time that Lu Tiany had lost to Zhao Feng. The last time was when he was in a life-and-death situation. Luckily, a Void God Realm King had saved his life. At this moment, the 3 Void God Realm Kings fell into a short silence. It was obvious that no one had expected the 3 sects' plan to infiltrate the Purple Saint ruins to be ruined by a true Lord Rank Jr. Who a thick dark mist condensed in the air and spread across a radius of 1 to 2 miles. The invisible power of the curse seeped into the air and corroded everything. Zhe. The skeletal division leader waved the black flag and slowly approached Elder Shui Yun and company. Elder Shui Yun took out the green water meteorite pearl as she healed Lu Tiany. When a rippling barrier of light blossomed with green light, once again forming the impenetrable defense of the green sky water barrier, blocking the power of the ghost corpse cursed formation. At the same time, Yi Yanyu and Zhuang Wan both took out a tattered earth-grade weapon and their battle power was extremely close to a sovereign. Break. The 2 teamed up and destroyed the power of the ghost corpse cursed array. The combined battle power of the 2 girls was comparable to a sovereign. Even Lu Tiany at his peak could barely fight back. That bitch's injuries haven't healed yet. These 2 girls are even less of a threat. The skeletal division leader maintained the ghost corpse cursed array and waited for Zhao Feng's orders. The ghost corpse cursed array had 38 cursed ghost corpses that had been refined by countless beasts. With the skeletal division leader controlling it, it could suppress normal origin core realms. Be careful. The hearts of Elder Shui Yun and the others tensed up. This was especially so for Elder Shui Yun. On one hand, it was Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader. On the other hand, Lu Tiany's injuries were more severe than she had imagined. Even she didn't have the confidence to cure him. On the other hand, Yi Yanyu and Zhuang Wan's faces were cold and resolute. Retreat. Zhao Feng was expressionless as he spat out a word. Bang! In the next instant, as the tempest wings flapped, Zhao Feng's figure vanished, leaving only a wisp of wind and lightning in the sky. Whoosh! The gray mist and the skeletal division leader disappeared at the same time. Gone. Elder Shui Yun and the others were startled and surprised. Yi Yanyu and Zhuang Wan looked at each other in confusion. Zhao Feng clearly had the advantage, so why didn't he chase after them? Elder Shui Yun let out a long sigh of relief with lingering fear in her heart. The blue-haired youth's strength had reached a level that made her wary. He could control Origin Core Realm beasts, had an Earth-grade inheritance weapon, had a Origin Core Realm slave, and had the Ghost Corpse cursed array. The hardest to deal with was still his unfathomable eye bloodline. On the other side, Zhao Feng headed toward the mysterious canyon with the help of the wings of wind and lightning. Master, that girl's at the lowest point right now. If we don't act now, we'll probably lose this chance. If she can cure Lu Tiany. The skeletal division leader said unwillingly within the 10,000 ghost pearl. Now's not the best time to act. No one knows if the remaining 3 have any trump cards like the Void God protection. Yi Yanyu and Zhuang Wan are both disciples of void god realms. Zhao Feng shook his head. Hearing that, the skeletal division leader's heart shook. It had experienced the power of the void god protection before. Even at its peak, it could be killed in one hit by the void god protection. Even if it didn't die, it would still lose a layer of skin. On the other hand, Zhao Feng's Jade Dragon protection had been used up twice. Even if one of the remaining three had a trump card like the void god protection, the battle would be extremely intense. As for Lu Tianyi, his organs are broken, and his life force is almost gone. Even his soul is in deep sleep. Zhao Feng said. His god's spiritual eye could see through Lu Tianyi's body, and his understanding of his injuries was even clearer than Elder Shui Yun's. Then what should we do now? The skeletal division leader seemed to understand. One word, stall. Zhao Feng paused for a moment and his eyes twinkled. The Purple Saint Ruins is our territory and we can grow here. We can still grow here, but they won't be able to move. A while later, Zhao Feng returned to the mysterious canyon and started to heal the towering tree Yao. There were many treasures in the Purple Saint Ruins, and with the Purple Saint Partial Spirit's help, it wasn't hard for the towering tree Yao to recover. However, right now, Zhao Feng's main focus was on stabilizing the flaws in the ruins. Within the 10,000 Ghost Pearl, the skeletal division leader quickly refined more cursed ghost corpses in order to complete the 100 corpse plan. In his free time, Zhao Feng would occasionally use his Eye of Heaven to harass Elder Shui Yun and company, making them unable to rest. In the blink of an eye, another half a month passed. In this half a month, the 100 corpse plan had finally reached 50% completion. On the other hand, Elder Shui Yun and company were harassed by Zhao Feng's Eye of Heaven and were forced to hide in the ruins. Yi Yanyu and Zhuang Wan were in danger several times. If it wasn't for Elder Shui Yun, who was an impenetrable healer, the two teams from the three sects would have been killed long ago. Zhao Feng was slightly wary of Elder Shui Yun and had a headache. In his eyes, Elder Shui Yun was even harder to deal with than Lu Tianyi. She had strong battle power, strong defense, and healing abilities. As long as Elder Shui Yun was here, no matter how heavily injured they would be able to recover in a short amount of time as long as they weren't instantly killed. In the last few days, although Lu Tianyi hadn't woken up yet, his aura of life had recovered. Zhao Feng had to admit that he had underestimated Elder Shui Yun's healing abilities. Of course, this couldn't all be blamed on Zhao Feng. If he knew that Elder Shui Yun was a famous sovereign of the three sects, he wouldn't have underestimated her like this. Brother Zhao Feng, the three major flaws have mostly been repaired. The slowest one, the ancient canyon, has also been repaired by 90%. Zhao Yufei's voice sounded. Now. She was now half the owner of the Purple Saint Ruins and had a strong sense of control over the dimension. Zhao Feng, your control over the situation is indeed extraordinary. The next time the three sects try to open a spatial tunnel, the success rate will be less than 30%. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit praised. During the two invasions, Zhao Feng's focus was on repairing the flaws. After defeating the three sects twice, Zhao Feng didn't waste any time chasing after them. His vision was very long-term. The key was to stop the three sects from entering the ruins. 2 days later, Zhao Feng, who was sitting on the towering tree Yao, once again felt a ripple in space. However, that wisp of spatial fluctuation was different from before. It seeped in a little, but it seemed to be lacking in strength. Because the holes in the ruins had been repaired, the space had become more solid, which made it harder to open a spatial tunnel. Good news. The three sects didn't succeed the third time. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit brought news. This news made Xiao Yufei and the skeletal division leader let out a breath. A smile appeared on Zhao Feng's face. The reason why he gave up chasing after the three sects time and time again was for this moment. Is this Zhao Feng's goal? The skeletal division leader thought back and couldn't help but admire Zhao Feng's vision. Zhao Feng didn't care about the result of the previous battle and gave up the chance to chase after the three sections. Until now. Zhao Feng's vision had finally been realized, he had blocked the three sects' spatial tunnels. As time passed, the chances of the three sects sending more people in would become smaller and smaller until it was almost zero. Even if Lu Tianyi recovers, he won't be a threat. They don't have any reinforcements, so we can just close the door and beat them. The smile on Zhao Feng's face became brighter. At this point, his battle with the three sects could be said to have come to an end. There wasn't much suspense left. Outside, on top of the mountain. Lord King, the third attempt at opening the spatial tunnel has failed. Grandmaster Yin Kong sighed helplessly. However, he wasn't surprised at all. The third spatial tunnel was extremely difficult, and the success rate was low. Failure was within his expectations. At this point in time, the experts of the three sects fell into a momentary silence. Three Void God Realm Kings unleashed three magnificent powers that suppressed heaven and earth. Some of the sovereigns present didn't dare to make a sound. Grandmaster Yin Kong, is there really no hope at all? The Saint Moon Ant Goddess broke the silence. As long as the Purple Saint Partial Spirit isn't dead, there's little hope in the next 2 to 3 years. Of course, we can still send one more person in, but the failure rate is over 99%. Grandmaster Yin Kong said deeply. The mortality rate was over 99%? Everyone present couldn't help but shake their heads. Is there any way to lower the failure rate? The Saint Moon Ant Goddess didn't give up. Even if there was a sliver of hope, there was still a chance. She couldn't ignore the deaths of Lu Tianyi, Yi Yanyu, and company. Yi Yanyu was her personal disciple. Unless there's someone proficient in spatial techniques and they have 60 to 70% chance of passing through the spatial tunnel and entering the Purple Saint ruins. Grandmaster Yin Kong smiled faintly. Proficient in spatial techniques? The people on the mountain looked around, but they couldn't find a suitable candidate. Schwa. Everyone's gazes soon landed on Grandmaster Yin Kong. The eyes of the three Void God Realm Kings lit up. Grandmaster Yin Kong had a spatial eye bloodline and was one of the 4 array Grandmasters of the Tianlu Islands. He was also a sovereign. No one doubted Grandmaster Yin Kong's strength and skill. Under everyone's gaze, Grandmaster Yin Kong remained calm and collected. Grandmaster Yin Kong, what conditions do you have? The Saint Moon Ant Goddess said with deep meaning. I only have one condition. After this, I will have the final say on what to do with Zhao Feng. Chapter 553. 3 days later, within the Purple Saint ruins. Zhao Feng, who was sitting cross-legged, suddenly opened his eyes as he received a piece of bad news. Lu Tianyi has awakened. Zhao Feng murmured as his blue hair blew in the wind. He had already prepared himself that Lu Tianyi might awaken under Elder Shui Yun's treatment. However, he didn't expect Lu Tianyi to awaken so quickly. Lu Tianyi was strong in battle, while Elder Shui Yun specialized in defense and healing. If these two teamed up, even Zhao Feng and company would be wary of them since they had the advantage of the Purple Saint ruins. Schwa. Zhao Feng used his eye of heaven and soon saw the situation of Lu Tianyi awakening under Elder Shui Yun's treatment. As if sensing something, Elder Shui Yun's hand released a layer of water that protected the area. Zhao Feng glanced over. Lu Tianyi was still extremely weak right now and didn't have much battle power left. His consciousness returned to the mysterious canyon, and Zhao Feng's eyebrows furrowed. Elder Shui Yun's recovery speed is too strong. It won't be easy to defeat her. Furthermore, Yi Yanyu and Zhuang Wan, teaming up are comparable to sovereigns. The first group was led by Elder Shui Yun in order to gain a foothold. Reality proved that Elder Shui Yun's usefulness was extraordinary. If it was a normal sovereign, they would have been killed many times over by Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader. That's right. If Lu Tianyi recovers to his peak, it'll be troublesome. Unless the 100-corpse plan is completed. The skeletal division leader also participated in the discussion. The 100-corpse plan was halfway done, and under the skeletal division leader's control, there shouldn't be any opponents at the small origin core realm. At the very least, it shouldn't be a problem for them to fight against Elder Shui Yun. The 100-corpse plan will need at least 2 to 3 months to complete. Zhao Feng shook his head. Once the 100-corpse plan was completed, it would be easy to kill sovereigns, but this process couldn't be completed in a short amount of time. There's one way. If we want to increase our battle power in a short amount of time, we need external help. Zhao Feng's eyes twinkled. External help. The Purple Saint partial spirit came to a realization. Then, Zhao Yufei also understood. What external force? The skeletal division leader didn't react in time. Half a day later, at the center of the mysterious canyon. Buzz, the Purple Saint treasured palace descended from the sky amidst a layer of dreamy purple mist. Whoosh! Zhao Feng's figure flashed as he stepped into the Purple Saint treasured palace. On the 3rd floor of the treasure palace. Senior Violet Saint, are there any Earth-rank divine weapons that are suitable for him? Zhao Feng pointed at the skeletal division leader. Earth-rank divine weapon. Me? The skeletal division leader's jaw dropped and it still hadn't recovered from its surprise. There are 3 ordinary Earth-ranked weapons. Let him pick one to try. The Purple Saint partial spirit waved her hand. In an instant, 3 gloomy orbs of light floated in front of Zhang Xian, and each of them was an Earth-grade weapon. You mean? I can choose an Earth-ranked divine weapon? The skeletal division leader couldn't contain its excitement. Earth-ranked weapons were legendary weapons that could destroy heaven and earth in the Azure Flower continent. One of the reasons why the skeletal division leader was suppressed in the Purple Saint ruins was because it didn't have an Earth-grade weapon. If it had an Earth-grade weapon, the skeletal division leader's battle power would increase dramatically. A while later, the skeletal division leader chose one out of the 3 Earth-grade weapons. It was a dark silver bone spike that was coiled with violet-black baleful qi. It was around a meter long, sharp, and suffused with a cold glow that shook the soul. 9 deadly Yin bone spike, Earth-grade weapon suitable for the Tao of Yin ghosts. This bone can merge into one's bones and increase their strength and defense. When attacking, it contains a powerful aura that attacks the soul. The more living beings this bone spear kills, the stronger the baleful aura it contains. The Purple Saint partial spirit explained the characteristics of this weapon. The skeletal division leader loved the 9 deadly Yin bone spike after obtaining it. This Earth-grade weapon was indeed suitable for it. An hour later, the 9 deadly Yin bone spike merged into the skeletal division leader's gold and silver bones. The skeletal division leader's body became darker, and the aura it radiated was more than 50% stronger than normal. Ha ha ha. No wonder it's an Earth-grade weapon. Even if I don't use it normally, my battle power will increase dramatically. The skeletal division leader couldn't help but laugh in joy. Even 100 years of cultivation couldn't compare to this Earth-grade weapon. Zhao Feng nodded his head. For sovereigns at the origin core realm, an Earth-grade weapon could indeed increase their strength. 3 days later, the skeletal division leader had learned how to use the 9 deadly Yin bone spike. The 9 deadly Yin bone spike was extremely suitable for it. It was almost like it was made for him, so he didn't need to spend too much time on it. Let's go. We can't let Lu Tianyi recover. Zhao Feng didn't wait any longer. On the same day, Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader found where Elder Shui Yun and company were recovering. Before the battle started, Zhao Feng used his god's spiritual eye to control the nearby beasts to attack Elder Shui Yun and company. Boom! The cave that Elder Shui Yun and company were in was soon devoured by the demonic beasts and destroyed. Ghost Corpse Cursed Array. Zhao Feng waved the array flag and a dark gray cloud covered a radius of 1 to 2 miles. This time, Zhao Feng personally controlled the ghost corpse cursed array and the timing was perfect. Elder Shui Yun and company had just killed a group of beasts when they fell into Zhao Feng's ghost corpse cursed array. What was even more amazing was that the blood essence and souls of the dead beasts were absorbed by the ghost corpse cursed array and its power increased dramatically. When the 50 cursed ghost corpses unleashed their aura of death and resentment, the terrifying power was enough to turn a half-step martial highness into a puddle of blood. Green sky water border. Elder Shui Yun took out her incomplete earth-grade weapon, the green water meteorite pearl, and a barrier of green light formed a powerful defense. But now, the power of the ghost corpse cursed array wasn't the same as before, and some of the power of the curse still managed to enter. Within the green sky water border, Yi Yanyu and Zhuang Wan are both harumphed. They had incomplete earth-grade weapons and were able to block it for a while. However, Lu Tiany's injuries hadn't healed yet and he was extremely weak. His face became paler and paler. Earth-grade weapon, 9 deadly yin bone. The skeletal division leader used the power of the ghost corpse cursed array to push forward with one arm, and a bone spike dozens of yards long appeared. It was as if it came from hell and stabbed toward the green sky water border. Shwa! The green sky water border started to tremble and cracks started to appear. In an instant, the power of the ghost corpse cursed array and the 9 deadly yin bone surged in. The former corroded the body, continuously nibbling away at the soul essence of living beings, while the latter possessed extremely powerful offensive power. The terrifying 9 fiendish yin qi could obliterate one's life force, directly attacking the soul. In just a few breaths' time, almost half of the green sky water border had dimmed. Apart from Elder Shui Yun, the others were all heavily injured. The effect is indeed different with the help of an earth-grade weapon. Zhao Feng smiled. Although he had the Ice Imperial Spear, his cultivation wasn't at the origin core realm, so he couldn't keep it up. On the other hand, the skeletal division leader used its earth-grade weapon, the 9 deadly yin bone, to complement the ghost corpse cursed array. Furthermore, the 50 cursed ghost corpses had absorbed a large amount of blood essence and souls, so the power they could unleash was quite impressive. Shoo! Shoo! A patch of purple-black fiendish aura vibrated with the shadow of the bone spike, continuously piercing through the green sky water border. Every time it pierced, it would pierce a hole. Elder Shui Yun held on, and Lu Tiany and the other 2 were struggling as well. The skeletal division leader wanted to charge into the green sky water border several times, but it was stopped by Zhao Feng. This was because Zhao Feng was wary that the remaining people might have powerful trump cards similar to the Void God protection. The 2 of them were in the ghost corpse cursed array and had a strong defense. Even if they met a Void God protection, they would be able to block it and protect themselves. This Zhao Feng is so calm and cautious. Elder Shui Yun gritted her teeth. She also had some powerful secret techniques that were on par with the Void God protection. Zhuang Wan had a Void God protection, but she didn't use it. As for Yi Yanyu, she didn't have the Void God protection, but she had a way to escape. However, Zhao Feng and Elder Shui Yun had the advantage, but they were slowly getting closer through the ghost corpse cursed array. As time passed, the bodies of Elder Shui Yun and company became weaker and weaker. Elder Shui Yun's injuries had mostly healed, but because she had been harassed by Zhao Feng and had to heal Lu Tiany and company, she had only recovered 60 to 70% of her yuan qi. Lu Tiany was extremely weak and only had 30% of his battle power. Yi Yanyu and Zhuang Wan weren't much better. At this moment, the ghost corpse cursed array and the 9 deadly yin bone kept on eroding them. Finally, an hour later, Elder Shui Yun and company started to run for their lives. Chase! Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader chased after them relentlessly. While chasing, Zhao Feng would control the nearby beasts to stop Elder Shui Yun from escaping. 4 hours later. Zhao Feng had successfully forced Elder Shui Yun and company into despair. In front of them was a faint purple mist. This was the end of the Purple Saint ruins. There was nowhere to run. Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader looked at each other and smiled. The two of them had the absolute advantage, but because they were worried about Elder Shui Yun and company's trump cards, they didn't forcefully attack and just kept on wasting their yuan qi. If we don't get reinforcements soon, we'll die here. Zhuang Wan was worried. Even though she had the protection of a faux god, this life-saving trump card was a consumable and could only be used once. Furthermore, the Void God protection only had the power to severely injure or kill sovereigns. Zhao Feng and company were extremely cautious and guarded the ghost corpse cursed array. It was extremely difficult to kill them in one blow. Zhao Feng, the three sects are trying to open a spatial tunnel again. But they've failed again. The Purple Saint partial spirit's voice sounded. Hearing this, Zhao Feng let out a breath and smiled faintly. Not good. An expert with spatial talent entered the Purple Saint ruins through a spatial crack. An urgent voice suddenly sounded. Shua. At the same time, a youth with silver eyes and a handsome face appeared at the center of the mysterious canyon. Shoo! Behind him, a tiny, transparent silver crack flashed and disappeared. Logically speaking, such a small crack shouldn't be able to allow a human expert to pass through, but this mysterious youth had broken the rules. Chapter 554. Mysterious Canyon. The silver-eyed handsome young man calmly flew out of the spatial crack. Success. He's indeed worthy of being an array grandmaster. Apparently, Grandmaster Yin Kong's eye bloodline is connected to one of the 8 great god eyes, the spacetime god eye. In the outside world, the people on the mountain couldn't help but sigh. This silver-eyed handsome youth was Grandmaster Yin Kong, who was managing the spatial splitting array. I used half of my bloodline power to stabilize the spatial crack, but the rest is more than enough to clean up the mess. Grandmaster Yin Kong murmured. At the same time, Shua. A transparent blue eye appeared in the sky above the mysterious canyon, right above Grandmaster Yin Kong's head. Hee, interesting. Apart from the inheritances of the 8 great god eyes, there is also a special eye bloodline that exists in a form that overlaps with space itself. Grandmaster Yin Kong gazed at the eye of heaven with a hint of interest. Looking down from the sky, Zhao Feng's consciousness felt slightly uneasy. This was the first time he had faced an enemy like this, and he had some understanding of the eye of heaven. You're Zhao Feng. Grandmaster Yin Kong smiled and inspected the eye of heaven, but he didn't attack. Maybe he knew that attacking the eye of heaven would be a waste of effort, or maybe he had other intentions. Zhao Feng didn't answer him. Crack. The ground trembled violently, and the sound of mountains splitting apart could be heard. A dense ancient aura surged out. Then, a terrifying pulling force as heavy as Mount Tai came from the crack in the ground. Boom! A 30-meter-long, stone vein giant flew up and punched at Grandmaster Yin Kong. Grandmaster Yin Kong's body sank down. Even a small origin core realm wouldn't be able to dodge a sneak attack from such a terrifying force. However, a weird scene appeared. Grandmaster Yin Kong's body overlapped in the air. If space was a painting, then half of Grandmaster Yin Kong's body seemed to be standing in another painting. As the silver patterns revolved around the stone vein giant, its punch missed. Shua! As if by magic, Grandmaster Yin Kong appeared behind the stone giant. There was almost no sign of the entire process. This is the spatial talent. Zhao Feng, who was controlling the stone giant from the sky, was stunned. Grandmaster Yin Kong's movement technique obviously used a certain amount of spatial talent. Even Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye could only see a part of it. Moreover, even if Zhao Feng could see through the principles, it would be very difficult for him to copy the secret movement technique. Because Zhao Feng didn't have any spatial talent. It was this power that allowed Grandmaster Yin Kong to break the rules and enter the Purple Saint ruins. Void Wave Blade. Grandmaster Yin Kong's silver eyes shone with a deep silver light as he slowly waved his hand. The next moment, a layer of soundless wave-shaped silver blades appeared in the air, spreading through a radius of several tens of feet and enveloping the stone vein giant. Creak, the faint silver illusory blades enveloped the stone giant's enormous body, causing it to howl in pain. Puff! 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 The rock giant's ancient crystalline body shattered into pieces, and layers of crystalline rock fell from the sky. In just 1 or 2 breaths, hundreds of cracks appeared on the stone giant's body, and some of them even pierced through its entire body. What a weird attack! Zhao Feng was stunned. Looking at it, there seemed to be countless faint silver lines surrounding the stone giant's body. Although the stone giant's defense was immune to the attacks of normal sovereigns, it didn't have much resistance against Grandmaster Yin Kong's attack. Several breaths later. Plop! The stone giant's powerful body turned into dozens of pieces that fell to the ground. Sai. The experts of the 3 sects all took in cold breaths. Grandmaster Yin Kong's strength is too terrifying. That stone giant is an ancient race, and its defense surpasses those at the Origin Core realm. Even a sovereign lord at the Great Origin Core realm wouldn't be able to kill it so easily. The sovereigns of the 3 sects all had their mouths open. Of course. Grandmaster Yin Kong's performance made the 3 Void God Realm Kings reveal joy. His power is too terrifying. He almost instantly killed the stone giant. That attack can ignore normal defenses. Zhao Feng's heart shook. Grandmaster Shui Yun, Lu Tianyi, and company from the previous 2 groups were all stronger than normal sovereigns. However, compared to Grandmaster Yin Kong, the other 2 venerables paled in comparison. After slaying the rock giant, Grandmaster Yin Kong clapped his hands and left the mysterious canyon without any hesitation. Shua! Shua! Faint silver afterimages of Grandmaster Yin Kong appeared in the air. Every step he took covered at least a mile, as if he was taking a stroll. Purple destruction, azure eye-piercing slash. A faint purple aura appeared in the eye of heaven. Shua! A huge translucent blade surrounded by wisps of purple destruction wind thunder power slashed at Grandmaster Yin Kong like a bolt of lightning. Bow! A circle of silver light was left behind. Grandmaster Yin Kong's figure had already appeared 2 miles away. The entire process. Grandmaster Yin Kong didn't even look at the eye of heaven above him. He just casually dodged the attack. He dodged it. Zhao Feng's heart dropped, although this situation was within his expectations. Although this was within his expectations, his eye bloodline wasn't able to truly lock onto Grandmaster Yin Kong. Of course. Zhao Feng didn't know that Grandmaster Yin Kong had spatial talent and was an array Grandmaster. No one at the Origin Core realm could truly lock onto Grandmaster Yin Kong. Shua! Shua! Grandmaster Yin Kong slowly closed in on Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader. At the edge of the Purple Saint ruins, the power of the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array suppressed Elder Shui Yun and company, and the Earth-grade weapon, the 9 Deadly Yin Bone, seeped in. There seems to be reinforcements. Elder Shui Yun took out a special token and sensed something. Shua! Shua! Grandmaster Yin Kong stood in the air with his hands behind his back as he slowly closed in. Skeletal Division Leader, I'll leave everything here to you. The opponents sent in this time will probably surpass our limits. Zhao Feng left the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array to the Skeletal Division Leader. We should be able to suppress them for a while. The Skeletal Division Leader took over the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array and waved the black flag. At the same time, it merged the 9 Deadly Yin Bone into its body. Although the 9 deadly Yin Bone's attack power wasn't as strong as when it left the body, it could still increase the power and defense of the bones. It's Grandmaster Yin Kong. Yi Yanyu was far away, but she could still see the silver-haired youth coming closer. Grandmaster Yin Kong has personally entered the Purple Saint ruins. Looks like the situation is settled. A smile appeared on Elder Shui Yun's face. Everyone present heaved a sigh of relief. Grandmaster Yin Kong was, after all, one of the 4 array grandmasters of the Tianlu Islands. He was a sovereign and had extremely rare spatial talent. According to what Elder Shui Yun knew, the battle power of any one of the 4 array grandmasters surpassed normal sovereigns. One of them was even a void god realm king. Shua. Grandmaster Yin Kong soon arrived at the battlefield where the 2 sides were fighting. At this moment, the skeletal division leader was just barely suppressing Elder Shui Yun and company. On the other hand, Zhao Feng. Within the ghost corpse cursed array, his blue hair blew in the wind, and his god's spiritual eye contracted as he inspected Grandmaster Yin Kong. Grandmaster Yin Kong, hurry and save us! Zhuang Wan exclaimed. The power of the ghost corpse cursed array was eating away at their blood essence and soul. Zhao Feng. Grandmaster Yin Kong inspected Zhao Feng with a smile. Zhao Feng had a weird expression. He felt like Grandmaster Yin Kong was very familiar with him. From the looks of it, Grandmaster Yin Kong was very amicable and had no intention of attacking Zhao Feng. What do you want? Zhao Feng was expressionless. Surrender. You have no chance in front of me. I'm only interested in your left eye. If you cooperate, you might be able to live. Grandmaster Yin Kong said in a calm and composed manner. Surrender. If this was said by a normal sovereign, Zhao Feng would laugh. But now, his expression was solemn, and he was ready for battle. This Grandmaster Yin Kong is very confident and direct. Zhao Feng's thoughts spun. Grandmaster Yin Kong's goal was already very direct. He wanted Zhao Feng's left eye. Impossible. Under the pressure, Zhao Feng's will remained calm and didn't waver. Now, the god's spiritual eye had already fused with his body. The god's spiritual eye was a part of his body. It doesn't matter if you agree or not. The result is the same. Grandmaster Yin Kong shook his head and smiled. He had a relaxed expression as his gaze landed on the skeletal division leader, and, I'll kill you first. Silver spatial blade. Grandmaster Yin Kong waved his hand, and a faint silver blade flashed across the void. Crack! The skeletal division leader didn't even have the chance to dodge before the blade cut through its bones. Not good. Zhao Feng had been on guard against Grandmaster Yin Kong, but he didn't expect him to suddenly attack the skeletal division leader. One could imagine. Grandmaster Yin Kong killed the skeletal division leader in order to destroy Zhao Feng's helpers and save Elder Shui Yun and company. Furthermore, Grandmaster Yin Kong's goal was to capture Zhao Feng alive. No. The skeletal division leader felt a sense of danger. Its bones were extremely tough, but they didn't have much of an effect against the silver blade. When it circulated the true yuan within its body, and a layer of black flames appeared around its bones. However, even then, it was only able to block a quarter of the blade's power. Yin Bone possession. The skeletal division leader roared as the 9 deadly Yin Bone within its body started to hum and glow with a purple-black light. Finally, the skeletal division leader used all its life-saving techniques and used its earth-grade weapon to protect itself, allowing it to survive. Crack! However, one of its bones was still cut off. It screamed. Hee hee. Grandmaster Yin Kong's playful laughter sounded. Silver spatial blade. A second silver blade came from behind and slashed toward the skeletal division leader's head. It's over. The skeletal division leader felt the danger of death and knew that it wouldn't be able to escape. Don't even think about it. Zhao Feng snickered coldly as a powerful eye bloodline aura surged from his left eye. The skeletal division leader couldn't die. Otherwise, the situation that Zhao Feng was facing would be unimaginable. Spatial movement. A transparent ripple of eye bloodline power appeared in the center and locked onto the silver spatial void blade. In that instant, space seemed to twist and overlap. Chapter 555. Just as the skeletal division leader was about to die, Zhao Feng used spatial movement. The second silver spatial blade was devoured by a transparent whirlpool right before it hit the skeletal division leader. Shwa! The faint silver blade that was visible to the naked eye disappeared into thin air. Within the green sky water border, Elder Shui Yun and the other three widened their eyes. The attack that could have taken the skeletal division leader's life was blocked by Zhao Feng just like that. The skeletal division leader let out a long breath with lingering fear. Luckily, Zhao Feng had saved it, or else it wouldn't have been able to escape even with its Earth-grade weapon. At the same time, it couldn't help but look deeply at Zhao Feng with a complex expression. At this moment, Zhao Feng couldn't lose him. After all, the skeletal division leader was fighting against Elder Shui Yun, Lu Tianyi, Yi Yanyu, and Zhuang Wan, by itself. If Zhao Feng dies, I won't have any hope at all. The skeletal division leader didn't dare to have any other thoughts. At the same time, the situation suddenly changed. Right as the skeletal division leader escaped death. Weird. He doesn't have any spatial power, but he can use spatial teleportation. Grandmaster Yin Kong's eyebrows furrowed. Right at this moment, his heart skipped a beat. A sense of crisis surged, and Grandmaster Yin Kong even sensed a trace of a strange and ancient spatial aura. Spatial movement. A transparent ripple of eye bloodline power appeared in front of Grandmaster Yin Kong, with the vague outline of a whirlpool at its center. Shwa! The silver void blade that had disappeared suddenly reappeared and slashed at Grandmaster Yin Kong with great force. Arg! Grandmaster Yin Kong screamed as blood splattered from his body and he fell from the sky. What's going on? The expressions of Elder Shui Yun, Lu Tianyi, and company changed dramatically. They didn't know what was going on. Hua! In the outside world, on the towering mountain peak, there was a huge commotion. How did the silver spatial blade reappear and land on Grandmaster Yin Kong? What kind of secret technique is this? Even some of the martial supremacies were shocked. The expressions of the three Void God Realm kings changed dramatically in disbelief. Everyone couldn't help but recall the previous process. First, the second silver spatial blade slashed toward the skeletal division leader and was about to kill it. But at this critical juncture, Zhao Feng activated void movement and took the silver void blade away. More accurately speaking, the silver spatial blade was absorbed into another dimension, which was the dimension of Zhao Feng's left eye. Afterward, this was the beginning of the mutation. The silver void blade that had disappeared returned, catching Grandmaster Yin Kong off guard. At that time, Grandmaster Yin Kong had been pondering about the principle of Zhao Feng's void teleportation. He had never expected such an anomaly. Finally, Grandmaster Yin Kong paid a heavy price for underestimating his enemy. Thump! Grandmaster Yin Kong fell to the ground with a deep wound that extended from his chest to his leg. One of his legs was separated from Grandmaster Yin Kong's body. Arg! Grandmaster Yin Kong suppressed the pain as his eyes were filled with hatred and regret. If he hadn't underestimated Zhao Feng and had been on guard, he would have had a 50 to 60% chance of dodging Zhao Feng's teleportation with his bloodline talent and ability to sense space. Unfortunately, from the beginning to the end, he had the attitude of looking down on them, as if victory was already in his grasp. Hee, it's your honor to be the first to taste the power of my void teleportation. Zhao Feng laughed lightly. At first, he had only comprehended the ability of void assimilation. It was just object assimilation. But then, Zhao Feng found that he could teleport things out of the dimension of his left eye. Therefore, after dealing with the demonic hell vine, the void movement secret technique took shape in his mind. Before Elder Shui Yun's group arrived, Zhao Feng had already completed void teleportation. Brat! I underestimated you. Grandmaster Yin Kong's eyes were bright red, but he suppressed his anger and killing intent. First, to achieve his goal, he still needed to capture Zhao Feng alive. Secondly, Grandmaster Yin Kong was severely injured and had lost a leg. Shua! With his broken leg, Grandmaster Yin Kong stepped into the azure sky water boundary. Grandmaster Yin Kong. Elder Shui Yun immediately helped him and started to heal him. This Grandmaster Yin Kong is quite smart. Zhao Feng's expression didn't change. He was actually studying Grandmaster Yin Kong's ultimate technique, the Silver Void Blade. The Silver Void Blade was a spatial bloodline ability that had the ability to merge with the void to a certain extent. That was why normal defenses couldn't resist the Silver Void Blade, and it was hard to dodge it. Unfortunately, Zhao Feng didn't have any spatial bloodline power, so he couldn't copy it even if he knew the theory behind it. But it wasn't like Zhao Feng didn't gain anything. Both the Silver Void Blade and his void movement had a certain spatial characteristic, especially the abruptness that came from the principles of space. This brat's eye bloodline is too weird. He can even move spatial attacks. Grandmaster Yin Kong sat on the ground in shock. At this moment in time, Elder Shui Yun focused on healing his injuries and reconnecting his broken leg. However, Zhao Feng wasn't going to let him succeed. Earth-grade inheritance weapon, Ice Imperial Spear. Zhao Feng slowly reached out and gathered his bloodline power. The blue spear in his hand started to condense. As long as he took out the Ice Imperial Spear and used it with the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array, Zhao Feng was confident that he could destroy the green sky water border and stop Grandmaster Yin Kong from healing. Silver Spatial Restriction. Grandmaster Yin Kong's silver eyes locked onto Zhao Feng with a surge of spatial power. Zhao Feng's figure suddenly froze. It was as if the space around him had locked him down. It was as if he was stuck in mud. The blue spear in his hand started to dissipate. What a profound spatial eye bloodline technique. It's able to restrict the space around Zhao Feng. The skeletal division leader couldn't help but exclaim. Break! Zhao Feng struggled, but he found that he couldn't even speak. Brat! Don't struggle. My silver space confinement fuses with that area of the void to form a powerful confinement. All living beings in that area will be confined and lose their freedom. Grandmaster Yin Kong laughed mockingly. With Elder Shui Yun's strength, she only needed 10 breaths to repair his broken leg. Although he wouldn't be able to recover in a short amount of time, at least he wouldn't need to fight with a broken leg. However, all living beings within this area will be imprisoned and lose their freedom. As soon as Grandmaster Yin Kong finished, meow meow. A silver-gray cat the size of a palm appeared on Zhao Feng's shoulder and threw a few bronze coins into the air. What? The smile on Grandmaster Yin Kong's face instantly froze. He had just said that all beings within the area covered by the silver spatial restriction would lose their ability to move. However, the cat in front of him was alive and kicking. This was a slap to his face. Little thieving cat. Zhao Feng was slightly surprised. His body was restricted by the space around him, but the little thieving cat wasn't affected at all. However, thinking about it, the little thieving cat already had the ability to enter and exit the interspatial dimension. Shadow Kill and the Tao of Concealment. Grandmaster Yin Kong's pupils contracted as he inspected the little thieving cat. Shua! The little thieving cat disappeared, leaving behind a dark silver line in the air. Whoosh! The gray line seemed to have pierced a tiny hole in the silver space shackle. Zhao Feng instantly felt the pressure decrease. Meow meow. The little thieving cat played with a mysterious dagger that was as dark as a shadow. As it moved, it created a shadow blade and its aura was unfathomable. Wings of wind and lightning. A pair of purple-green wings of wind and lightning formed on Zhao Feng's back. They flapped at high speed and released a wisp of destructive aura. Pa! The wings of wind and lightning on Zhao Feng's back flapped, and he broke through the silver spatial restriction that Grandmaster Yin Kong was so proud of. Firstly, the little thieving cat managed to create a small hole in the silver spatial restriction. Secondly, Zhao Feng's wings of wind and lightning had the ability to travel through space, and it also contained the destructive power of the purple lightning. Break! With the support of the wings of wind and lightning, Zhao Feng appeared in the air above the green sky-water border, and the image of the ice imperial spear struck the rippling world. In order to prevent Grandmaster Yin Kong from interrupting, Zhao Feng didn't take out the ice imperial spear itself. Even so, with his current cultivation base, bloodline power, and the power of the ice imperial spear, he could threaten even sovereigns. See, the power of the ice imperial spear caused the ripples of the green sky water border to freeze. Crack! The skeletal division leader waved the black flag and summoned the power of the ghost corpse cursed array. Its other hand shot out a string of large spikes that glowed with a dark purple light. The frozen azure sky water boundary shattered into pieces and completely collapsed. Wu, the power of the ghost corpse cursed array engulfed Grandmaster Yin Kong, Elder Shui Yun, and company. The power of the curse also entered Grandmaster Yin Kong's body through his wounds. Grandmaster Yin Kong had already suffered heavy injuries. Coupled with the terrifying curse power and death aura, his forehead was covered in cold sweat, and he couldn't help but let out a muffled groan. Spatial wavy blade. Grandmaster Yin Kong's expression became grim as he slashed out with one hand. When a wave of faint silver blades appeared in the air and locked onto Zhao Feng within a radius of several yards. That's the move. It killed the stone giant not long ago. Zhao Feng's heart dropped as he felt a sense of danger. This time, Grandmaster Yin Kong didn't use a single target spatial wavy blade. This junior's void movement can only target a single small object, and it's several times more difficult for him to teleport away with my area of effect attack. Grandmaster Yin Kong's eyes twinkled. The range of the spatial wavy blade was huge, and it could cover a radius of 10 yards. Even the stone giant, which was several times stronger than Zhao Feng's, had been killed by this move, let alone Zhao Feng himself. This move uses too much energy. Grandmaster Yin Kong felt his bloodline power quickly deplete. I can't teleport away. Facing this danger, Zhao Feng circulated his bloodline power and used the Ice Imperial Spear's intent of ice and water. Water Spirit Divine Change. Zhao Feng's body was covered in a layer of dark blue light that twisted and overlapped with one another. When the dark blue light merged with Zhao Feng's flesh and blood, ripples appeared on Zhao Feng's body as if it was a liquid. When the spatial void blades hit Zhao Feng, it was like they had hit a man made of liquid water, like rocks sinking into the ocean. This move! Elder Shui Yun exclaimed not far away. Chapter 556. Water Spirit Divine Change. This was the high-level water secret technique that Elder Shui Yun had used before. However, at this moment, this powerful secret technique had been successfully replicated by Zhao Feng. Poof! 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 Zhao Feng's body seemed to have turned into a liquid. The power from the spatial wavy blade pierced through his body as if it had pierced through a person made of water. Outside, the experts of the three sects on the towering mountain were all dumbfounded. Everyone had personally witnessed Elder Shui Yun's water spirit godly change. Not many people in the three two-star sects could successfully learn such a peerless water element secret technique. The water spirit divine change uses the power of water to fuse with one's flesh and blood, turning one's body into a liquid state for a short period of time. In this state, one's defense is almost immortal. Zhao Feng floated in the air, his body rippling in a liquid state, his eyes calm. At the same time, the ice imperial spear in his body had fused with every corner of his bloodline. The intent of ice and water was like a water skeleton that supported Zhao Feng's water spirit divine change. That was why Zhao Feng hadn't become a sovereign yet, so he could successfully use the water spirit divine change and reduce the energy consumption. Damn it! When did this brat learn this technique? It's almost immortal. Grandmaster Yin Kong gritted his teeth. Poof! Under the attack of the spatial wavy blade, Zhao Feng took 2 to 3 breaths of time. Of course. During this process, Zhao Feng was injured. Space-type attacks were special. Even though his body was in a semi-liquid state and could absorb 70 to 80% of the damage, it still injured his body. Luckily, the Ice Imperial Spear has fused with my body. Even in the water spirit divine change state, Zhao Feng could still feel the pain of being injured. Luckily, with the support of the Ice Imperial Spear, his water spirit divine change's defense was comparable to Elder Shui Yun's. Plop! Zhao Feng's body was injured and the healing power of the water was 10 times faster than normal. Therefore, although Zhao Feng was taking damage, in his semi-liquid state, his recovery speed was faster than the damage he caused. How did he do it? He has learned my highest secret skill of water, the water spirit transformation. Elder Shui Yun lost her composure. 3 breaths later. Whoosh! The void wavy blade attack was ineffective and disappeared. Grandmaster Yin Kong's face turned slightly pale, and his expression became grave. Zhao Feng's growth potential and the concealment of his strength were beyond common sense. Even someone as strong as Grandmaster Yin Kong found it a little tricky to deal with. Meanwhile, pop! Zhao Feng's liquefied body returned to its normal state of flesh and blood. This surprised Elder Shui Yun and the others. The water spirit transformation was a powerful secret skill that not only allowed one's body to liquefy, it could also greatly increase one's combat strength. But just now, Zhao Feng had only used half of this secret skill, which was the defensive power of the liquid state immortal body, but it did not increase his combat power. Thinking about it, Elder Shui Yun started to understand. Zhao Feng might only be able to learn half of it in a short amount of time. Furthermore, the full version of the water spirit transformation used too much energy. Zhao Feng's bloodline power and cultivation were weaker than hers. Even Elder Shui Yun would be greatly injured after using this secret skill. The water spirit transformation uses too much energy. I only used half of its power, and I already feel like I'm lacking energy. Zhao Feng didn't immediately attack after saving his life. The feeling of lacking energy alerted Zhao Feng. Grandmaster Yin Kong's situation was also slightly awkward. He had used up a lot of his eye bloodline power. Firstly, using a secret technique to enter the Purple Saint ruins had used half of his bloodline power. His bloodline power and eye bloodline power came from the same source. Next, Grandmaster Yin Kong had used up a lot of his eye bloodline power to kill the stone giant, the skeletal division leader, and the fight with Zhao Feng. The spatial wavy blade was an area of effect skill that used up a lot of his bloodline power. However, he could not easily use the silver void blade, which consumed less energy, as a single target attack. Once he used the silver spatial wavy blade, he might be countered by Zhao Feng's spatial movement. Right at this moment, the skeletal division leader waved the black flag and summoned the power of the ghost corpse cursed array. A dark mist covered everyone. Cough cough. Grandmaster Yin Kong and company's injuries worsened as they were corroded by the power of the curse. Purple destruction, wind lightning whip. Zhao Feng laughed as a purple and azure whip condensed in his hand. It was dozens of yards long and contained the power of wind lightning yuan qi. Pa! Pa! Boom! The purple destruction tempest whip was filled with a destructive aura of wind and lightning. As it danced in the air, wind and lightning exploded, trapping the people below. At this point in time, the remaining experts of the three sects were once again in despair. There was the wind lightning whip above and the ghost corpse cursed array below. The only person that had a chance of escaping was Grandmaster Yin Kong, but if he didn't, he would lose Elder Shui Yun's healing and lose one of his legs. Silver Spatial Restriction. Grandmaster Yin Kong's silver eyes released a surge of spatial eye bloodline power. This time, his target was the Skeletal Division leader. This was because the Skeletal Division leader was controlling the Ghost Corpse cursed array and affected the balance of the situation. Purple Destruction, Azure Eye Piercing Slash. Zhao Feng snickered coldly as he used his fastest eye bloodline technique toward Grandmaster Yin Kong. Shua surrounded by wisps of purple destruction wind and thunder power, the huge, translucent blade slashed towards Grandmaster Yin Kong. Grandmaster Yin Kong's expression changed slightly. Shua. Grandmaster Yin Kong's figure disappeared, leaving behind a silver light. Just as his Azure Eye Piercing Slash missed once again. Seeing the Azure Eye Piercing Slash disappear, Zhao Feng had a flash of inspiration. A bold idea appeared in his mind. Bam! The huge, translucent blade of nothingness self-destructed in the void. If Green Eye Sharp Slash and Void Movement are combined and the former is endowed with the characteristics of a spatial attack, wouldn't that be? Zhao Feng's eyes twinkled, and his heart jumped. Zhao Feng. Save me. The Skeletal Division leader was still under Grandmaster Yin Kong's silver spatial restriction, and it couldn't move at all. It was still using the Dark Heart Seed to send a message to Zhao Feng. Without the Skeletal Division leader, the Ghost Corpse cursed array's power was halved in a short amount of time. Seeing that Lu Tianyi and company had recovered, Grandmaster Yin Kong smiled. Lu Tianyi, you guys are responsible for killing the Skeletal Division leader. It's sealed by my spatial power and can't resist at all. Grandmaster Yin Kong chuckled and returned to Elder Shui Yun's side. He still needed Elder Shui Yun's help for now. Okay. Lu Tianyi and company formed a team and forced their way through the Ghost Corpse cursed array toward the Skeletal Division leader. Once Lu Tianyi and company got close, the Skeletal Division leader would die for sure. Purple Destruction, Azure Eye Piercing Slash. Right at this moment, Zhao Feng's second Azure Eye Piercing Slash slashed through the air. It was different from before. This time, the Azure Eye Piercing Slash was only 1 meter long, and its power was more condensed. The previous Azure Eye Piercing Slash was several yards long, but this time it's only 1 meter long. Although it's more condensed, it only uses 10% of my eye bloodline power. A faint smile appeared on Zhao Feng's face. Such a small Azure Eye Piercing Slash didn't use much of his eye bloodline power. Of course. This was just a preparation for the next step. It's useless. You can't lock onto me. Grandmaster Yin Kong smiled and easily dodged the Azure Eye Piercing Slash. He still used Silver Spatial Restriction to lock onto the Skeletal Division leader. Save me. The Skeletal Division leader was unable to move and could only watch as Lu Tianyi approached it with the Earth-grade Sky Wolf Killing Slash. Right at this moment, the situation changed. The meter-long Azure Eye Sharp Slash disappeared into thin air after missing its target. Void. Space. Movement. A transparent ripple of eye bloodline power appeared at the center of the ripple, and the outline of an illusory whirlpool stacked on top of Lu Tianyi. Whoosh! Blood splattered everywhere as Lu Tianyi's body froze. A semi-transparent wind blade surrounded by wisps of trembling purple destruction wind thunder aura pierced through his body out of nowhere. Save, save. Lu Tianyi's voice was hoarse, but the Azure Eye Piercing Slash had appeared from within his body and contained the aura of destruction. Plop! Lu Tianyi fell to the ground. He was dead. The top genius of the three sects had died. Tianyi. Brother Lu. Elder Shui Yun, Yi Yanyu, and the experts of the three sects exclaimed. Within the ghost corpse cursed array, Yi Yanyu and Zhuang Wan didn't know what to do. Even someone as strong as Lu Tianyi was instantly killed by Zhao Feng. That slash is even more unique than my silver spatial blade. It teleports directly into the target's body. Grandmaster Yin Kong's heart shook. His silver void blade still had an attacking process as it sliced through the air. On the other hand, Zhao Feng's attack just now had moved the blade of the Azure Eye into his opponent's body and dealt fatal damage. It was even more sudden and out of nowhere. Grandmaster Yin Kong. Thank you for your spatial talent. I can use it as a reference. I've now formed my strongest eye bloodline technique, Void Space Eye Slash. Zhao Feng suddenly roared into the sky. He had merged the Azure Eye piercing slash with spatial movement to form Zhao Feng's strongest eye bloodline technique. Void Space Eye Slash. Everyone's hearts shook. Everyone, if you surrender now, I might let you live. Zhao Feng stood with his hands behind his back and said confidently. At this moment, he was too lazy to even bother with the skeletal division leader. Brat, don't be arrogant. The Pure Moon spiritual sect won't let you go for killing Lu Tianyi. Elder Shui Yun harumphed coldly. Kill, Void Space Eye Slash. A powerful surge of eye bloodline power appeared from Zhao Feng's left eye, and a purple and azure aura flashed across it. Shua! Elder Shui Yun's body froze as blood splattered everywhere. The heart in her body was pierced by a 3-foot-long blade that suddenly appeared. Purple destruction aura burst forth and instantly killed her life force. Plop! Elder Shui Yun was dead. She was dead. Hua! In the outside world, the experts of the three sects were in an uproar. Killing a sovereign with just one gaze. Lu Tianyi and Elder Shui Yun, two sovereigns, had been instantly killed. Terrifying. When did this Zhao Feng comprehend such a terrifying eye bloodline technique? Some of the venerable realm powerhouses gasped. Within the ghost corpse cursed array. How did Zhao Feng suddenly become so terrifying? He's killing sovereigns like cutting carrots. The skeletal division leader was stunned. Unknowingly, the restriction on its body had disappeared. That was because Grandmaster Yin Kong, who was standing on the other side, had a hint of fear in his eyes. Chapter 557. In the limitless ocean, on top of the mountain, an uproar broke out among the experts of the three sections. Some of the sovereigns couldn't help but take in a cold breath. The expressions of the three void god realms that were like gods became solemn. At this moment, Zhao Feng's terrifying strength was like a nightmarish existence that made others tremble in fear. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess gazed deeply at Zhao Feng in the image and sighed. Let's try to save the remaining three. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's voice broke the silence. The other two Void God Realm Kings looked at each other and couldn't help but sigh. Their expressions were filled with helplessness. After Elder Shui Yun's death, the three Void God Realm Kings knew that they had lost their chance. Elder Shui Yun had a very important position in the invading group. As long as Elder Shui Yun didn't die, the others could return to their peak. It could be said that Elder Shui Yun, the medicine sovereign, was one of the cores. However, Zhao Feng also understood this point. After killing Elder Shui Yun, Grandmaster Yin Kong wouldn't be able to recover in a short amount of time. Therefore, Zhao Feng decisively left the Void Space Eye Slash for Elder Shui Yun. Purple Saint Ruins. The power of the ghost corpse cursed array surged. Yi Yanyu and Zhuang Wan didn't give up and tried to kill the skeletal division leader. I still have the Void God protection. It should be enough to kill the skeletal division leader. Zhuang Wan messaged. Retreat. Grandmaster Yin Kong's voice suddenly sounded and stopped the two girls. Zhuang Wan was still hesitating, but Grandmaster Yin Kong said urgently, the true danger comes from Zhao Feng. Even I don't have the confidence to retreat. Hearing that, the hearts of the two girls shook. They didn't think that even Grandmaster Yin Kong, who had a high status, would lose his will to fight. Thinking about how Elder Shui Yun and Lu Tianyi had been instantly killed by Zhao Feng, the two girls didn't have any courage left. Run! Grandmaster Yin Kong's figure flashed and left several afterimages in the air. Shwa! Whoosh! In less than 2 breaths, Grandmaster Yin Kong took the two girls out of the Ghost Corpse curse formation. For this, Grandmaster Yin Kong had to pay a price and take the counterattack of the Ghost Corpse cursed array and the Skeletal Division leader. The direction in which Grandmaster Yin Kong fled was the mysterious canyon. Trying to escape, Zhao Feng put away the Ghost Corpse cursed array and had the Skeletal Division leader enter the 10,000 Ghost Pearl. Pack pack. Flapping his tempest wings, Zhao Feng quickly chased after Grandmaster Yin Kong. Zhao Feng, since you've already comprehended such a powerful void space why don't you kill the other 3 as well? The Skeletal Division leader recovered from its shock and asked. The void space that Zhao Feng had comprehended could instantly kill those at the small origin core realm, so why didn't he keep using it? The core of the void space is void movement, which expends a lot of bloodline power. I still have one more chance to use the void space Zhao Feng's eyes flickered as he explained. At this point in time, Zhao Feng had expended a lot of his bloodline power, so he could only use the void space one last time. Of the remaining 3, Grandmaster Yin Kong was obviously the biggest threat. Zhao Feng had to use the last void space well. If his target was a normal sovereign, Zhao Feng would definitely be able to kill him in one move. However, his target was Grandmaster Yin Kong, who specialized in spatial laws and had a spatial bloodline. It was extremely hard to lock onto him. That was why Zhao Feng didn't act rashly as he chased. That Zhao Feng probably doesn't have much of his bloodline power left. At most, it's on par with mine. Grandmaster Yin Kong was also on guard as he ran. It wasn't hard for him to analyze that Zhao Feng could only use the void space one more time, or else he would have attacked already. Just like that, both sides continued to chase after Grandmaster Yin Kong. The wings of wind and lightning fluttered behind Zhao Feng, and the little thieving cat stood on his shoulder as he chased after Grandmaster Yin Kong. During this time, both sides were on high alert. Grandmaster Yin Kong and company were especially on guard against Zhao Feng's next void space Soon, Grandmaster Yin Kong and company arrived at the mysterious canyon. The mysterious canyon was the transmission point of the spatial splitting array in the outside world. Don't worry and set up the array. Zhao Feng won't waste his last void space on you. Grandmaster Yin Kong ordered the two girls. At the same time, in the outside world, on top of the mountain, the 3 Void God Realm Kings took action at the same time, and a surge of Void God Realm magnificent power seeped in, forcefully expanding the whole without caring about the price of the spatial backlash. Cavern channel connection, ready. On the other side, the array masters had finished setting up the spatial splitting array. Mysterious Canyon, Grandmaster Yin Kong felt the unique aura of the spatial splitting array and was overjoyed. Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye obviously sensed it as well. According to the spatial ripples from before, Zhao Feng could estimate when the spatial crack would open. You want to leave just like that? Zhao Feng snickered coldly. The Skeletal Division leader appeared the instant it landed and controlled the Ghost Corpse cursed array to cover the area around the spatial crack. Yi Yanyu and company were being suppressed by the Skeletal Division leader and wouldn't be able to last long. Void God Protection. Zhuang Wan crushed a jade talisman in her hand, and the figure of a black moon demoness appeared behind her. Instantly, a vast and immeasurable godly force pressed down on the entire space. Of course, Zhuang Wan only used the Void God Protection to protect herself and didn't dare to use it as an attack. This was because Zhao Feng and company had the protection of the Ghost Corp's cursed array and Earth-grade weapons. Even if they used the Void God protection once, it wouldn't be enough. This was especially true for Zhao Feng. He had the Void Space Eye Slash for offense and the Water Spirit Transformation for defense, which allowed him to enter an undying state for a short period of time. It could be said that Zhao Feng was an unrivaled existence in the Purple Saint ruins. Zhuang Wan didn't dare to anger Zhao Feng. If the Void Space Eye Slash landed on her, she probably wouldn't be able to survive. When at this moment, Zhao Feng faintly sensed a familiar spatial ripple. Stay! Void Space Eye Slash. A powerful surge of eye bloodline power appeared in Zhao Feng's left eye, and a purple and azure aura flashed across it. In that instant, the hearts of the three present jumped into their throats. Don't even think about it. Grandmaster Yin Kong felt Zhao Feng's eye bloodline power lock onto him, and he felt a prickling sensation on his skin. Shua! A 3-inch-long blade slashed through the air, leaving behind a silver afterimage. He missed. The people present, including the experts of the three sects outside, couldn't help but exclaim. In the next instant, Shua! Grandmaster Yin Kong appeared in the air dozens of yards away with joy on his face. However, he suddenly felt that something was wrong. The 3-inch-long blade didn't seem to have appeared out of thin air. This wasn't the characteristic of the Void Space Eye Slash. Void Space Eye Slash. A cold voice sounded in the soul dimension. Bo! A ripple of eye bloodline power appeared where Grandmaster Yin Kong landed, and a whirlpool appeared in the center. Not good. Grandmaster Yin Kong yelled as he realized that he had been tricked. The truth was, the so-called Void Space Eye Slash just then was just a normal azure eye piercing slash. It was just a trick that Zhao Feng used to trick Grandmaster Yin Kong. Run! Grandmaster Yin Kong's heart skipped a beat. He used his space movement technique at the fastest speed in his life and left a silver afterimage where he stood. Shua surrounded by tiny wisps of purple destruction wind lightning, the 3-foot-long blade pierced through the silver shadow, without any warning. Whoosh! Blood splattered everywhere. Arg! Grandmaster Yin Kong appeared on the other side and covered the bloody hole in his chest. So, although Grandmaster Yin Kong's reactions were fast, he wasn't able to dodge the Void Space Eye Slash, and his organs were still pierced. You! Grandmaster Yin Kong's body stiffened, and his voice was hoarse. The essence of the Void Space Eye Slash was still the azure eye piercing slash. The destructive aura of wind lightning was wreaking havoc in Grandmaster Yin Kong's body. I've already predicted where you'll land next. I'll move the azure eye piercing slash into your body as soon as you appear. Zhao Feng snickered coldly. He had succeeded this time because he had predicted where Grandmaster Yin Kong was going to land. The scariest thing about the Void Space Eye Slash was that it could move objects through the air and directly into the opponent's body. I hate. Grandmaster Yin Kong's eyes were red, and his face was full of regret. If he hadn't underestimated Zhao Feng at the start and had directly attacked to kill Zhao Feng, he wouldn't have ended up like this. At this moment, the life force in his body was quickly disappearing. If Elder Shui Yun was here and could heal him immediately, there would be a chance that he could be saved. Unfortunately, Zhao Feng had already killed Elder Shui Yun, a crucial person. Let's go. Right at this moment, Yi Yanyu and Zhuang Wan entered the tunnel that had just appeared. When the tunnel closed, and the two girls disappeared. What a pity. Zhao Feng had used up all of his eye bloodline power, and true force. Otherwise, he would have tried to capture the two girls as hostages so that the three sects wouldn't be able to harm them. Grandmaster Yin Kong. Zhao Feng's gaze landed on the silver-eyed handsome youth who was on the verge of death. At the last moment, Zhao Feng didn't dare to let his guard down, and he was even on guard. He was at his weakest right now. If Grandmaster Yin Kong had some trump card, he might be dragged down with him if he wasn't careful. Therefore, Zhao Feng was in the ghost corpse cursed array, and he had already prepared himself. As expected, a pitch-black ancient token appeared in Grandmaster Yin Kong's hand. The ancient command token was inscribed with an ancient character that could shake one's soul, death. That is, Zhao Feng's heart shook. A coldness of death entered his soul. In that instant, the god's spiritual eye started to warn him. What a strong aura of death! The skeletal division leader's soul trembled, and it had the urge to kneel down. Ha ha ha! Zhao Feng, I'm dead. You won't have a good ending either. Do you know who the owner of this token of death is? The blood on Grandmaster Yin Kong's hand merged into the pitch-black token. Watch out! Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader prepared. In the last moment before death, Grandmaster Yin Kong gave a savage laugh. I might be talented in space, but I'm not a true bloodline descendant of the space-time god Eye. This token of death comes from one of the 8 great god Eyes. His voice suddenly stopped. Chapter 558. And this token of death comes from one of the 8 great god Eyes. Before he even finished speaking, the life force within Grandmaster Yin Kong's body was completely extinguished, and he died. Plop! Grandmaster Yin Kong's body fell to the ground. However, the sense of danger in Zhao Feng's heart didn't decrease. When floating in the air, the pitch-black medallion of death and the ancient character for death emanated an aura of death that penetrated one's soul. An intent of death locked onto Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng's consciousness felt like it had fallen into an icehouse, and the feeling of being unable to breathe came from his soul. At this moment he even had the feeling that his life wasn't in his control anymore. That token. In the outside world, the 3 void god realms stared at the token of death and exclaimed. Even the 3 void god realm kings couldn't help but take in a cold breath when they saw the token of death. Token of death. It's the token of death. The golden skeleton king exclaimed in fear. Wariness and fear appeared in his eyes as he stared at the token of death. Token of death. The 3 void god realm kings and the sovereigns present were speechless. Most of them had heard of this legend before. At this moment in time within the Purple Saint ruins, the token of death had locked onto Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng felt as if his soul was being restricted, and he couldn't control his body or life. Pang! 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 The god's spiritual eye started to twitch. The feeling was stronger than ever. The aura from the token of death made the god's spiritual eye feel unfamiliar yet familiar. Suddenly, a ripple appeared in the air, and the black light released by the token of death became 10 times, then 100 times stronger. A pair of pitch-black, serene eyes appeared on the token of death. Inside the eyes was a bottomless whirlpool. Faint white spots of light pulsated in the whirlpool, as if it was connected to an endless world of death. Puny being, follow my will of death and take away your right to live. The whirlpool of black eyes locked onto Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng's soul went cold, and his body started to tremble. He felt as if his soul was being restricted by an undefiable intent. At that moment, he stopped breathing for a moment. His life seemed to have reached its end, and he was controlled by a mysterious power. Eyes of Death. One of the 8 great god eye inheritances. The death pursuit has appeared. It really is the Eye of Death. The person behind the token should be the Emperor of Death. In the outside world, the experts of the 3 sects were in an uproar. The 3 kings all held their breaths as they stared at the Eye of Death that had appeared on the token. Zhao Feng, be careful. This is probably the eye intent of the Eye of Death, a descendant of the 8 great god eyes. There was a trace of panic in the Purple Saint partial spirit's voice. Eyes of Death. Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leaders' bodies froze as their consciousness was suppressed by the intent of death. It was as if they had lost the ability to live. One of the 8 great God-eye inheritances, the Eye of Death. Zhao Feng's heart trembled, but his soul was imprisoned by the will of death. No matter how he struggled, he couldn't break free. It wasn't just him. Even the skeletal division leader, a sovereign, trembled and couldn't move. Looks like Zhao Feng's dead for sure. The Eye of Death controls the laws of death. The skeletal division leader didn't even dare to breathe. The target of the Eye of Death was only Zhao Feng. If he did anything, it might take his own life as well. Die. The pitch-black whirlpool in the Eye of Death slowly spun. Zhao Feng's body sank as his consciousness was sucked in by an unstoppable power. Don't even think about. Decisiveness appeared in Zhao Feng's eyes as he used his will to stop this power. However, his soul was still uncontrollably attracted by the Eye of Death. The soul was the soul of a person. At this moment, Zhao Feng felt as if his consciousness was being pulled out of his body and taken away by the Eye of Death. The soul was the origin of all intelligent beings. Even if a void god realm king had surpassed the physical body level, once their soul was destroyed, everything would cease to exist. Annihilating one's soul meant complete death. As for the Eyes of Death, the intent of death directly targeted the soul. No! The skeletal division leader also exclaimed in fear. The skeletal division leader was very close to Zhao Feng, so the aura of death reached its body. He couldn't control his soul consciousness either, as if it was about to be stripped out of his body. The skeletal division leader struggled, but it could only barely hold on. If he was already in such a state, it was hard to imagine just what sort of deadly crisis Zhao Feng was facing. Ha ha ha. That brat's dead for sure. No matter how unparalleled he was and how he battled with our wits, in the end, when he encountered the death hunt, he would not be able to escape. In the outside world, the experts of the 3 sects were overjoyed. The pursuit of death comes from the mysterious Emperor of Death. Once it's activated, it can attract the Emperor of Death's Eye of Death. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess murmured. Zhe, even normal void god realm kings won't be able to block this intent of death. As for those below the void god realm, they will definitely die. The golden skeleton said gloatingly. On the 3rd floor of the Purple Saint Treasured Palace, Senior Purple Saint, please save brother Zhao Feng. Zhao Yufei was extremely anxious and implored. Unless Master is at his peak, he might be able to suppress the mysterious Emperor of Death, but my partial spirit intent is about to dissipate. Even if I use all my strength, I only have a 30 to 40% chance of stopping him. If that happens, I'll die as well. The Purple Saint partial spirit shook her head bitterly. Once she died, the Purple Saint ruins would become an ownerless dimension that would slowly collapse. At that time, the 3 sects would attack head-on, and Zhao Feng and Zhao Yufei would die. So, the Purple Saint partial spirit couldn't help. Brother Zhao Feng. Zhao Yufei's eyes were filled with tears, but thinking about Zhao Feng's miracles in the past, she felt a glimmer of hope. At the same time, Zhao Feng was in danger of dying. His soul consciousness had gone out of control and was about to leave his body. No. Impossible. Zhao Feng struggled in his heart, and he circulated his eye bloodline power to fight back. However, his soul intent was still being pulled out of his body. If one's cultivation reached the void god realm, they would be able to see an illusory body similar to Zhao Feng. It was mixed with an azure and purple aura, and it was slowly being pulled out of his body. Once his soul was pulled out, it was the same as taking away his right to live. Zhao Feng's struggle didn't have much effect. Half of his soul intent was about to leave his body. Peng! 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 Zhao Feng's left eye twitched as if it was being pulled by an invisible force. Suddenly, the soul consciousness that was halfway separated froze. The intent of death seemed to meet some kind of resistance. If one looked closely, they would find that Zhao Feng's left eye was slightly more protruding than before. While the intent of death was pulling on Zhao Feng's soul intent, it was also pulling on the god's spiritual eye. So that's how it is. Zhao Feng grabbed onto a rope when he was about to fall into the abyss of despair. That rope was the god's spiritual eye. After so many years, the god's spiritual eye and Zhao Feng's soul intent had merged into one, and it was extremely compatible with his body. In other words, if the eye of death wanted to take away Zhao Feng's soul, it would have to take the god's spiritual eye with it. However, how could this powerful eye from the ancient era be taken away so easily? Peng! Peng! The god's spiritual eye seemed to awaken from its slumber, and it gave off an aura that came from the ancient era. Suddenly, Zhao Feng felt as if he had turned into a giant god from the ancient era. His every action and thought shook the sun and moon. The aura of the ancient era. The purple saint partial spirit exclaimed. In that instant, she felt her purple saint ruins tremble. Before the aura of the primordial origin, all physical forces trembled uneasily. The eye of death within the token of death couldn't help but exclaim. Boom! The token of death immediately suffered the backlash of a mysterious aura from the ancient era. Crack! A crack appeared on the token of death. The light in the eye of death, which contained the intent of death, dimmed by more than half and revealed a surprised expression. God! God's eye! The aura of a god's eye! A voice sounded from the token of death, but it was only limited to the soul. The experts of the three sects didn't hear this voice. What's going on? The three kings couldn't help but be surprised. When the eye of death was about to take away Zhao Feng's soul, it met a strong resistance and even suffered a backlash. The source of all of this was Zhao Feng's left eye. God's eye. Zhao Feng's left eye is a god's eye. The purple saint partial spirit was in disbelief. Even the mysterious emperor of death, who had the eye of death's bloodline, couldn't be called a god's eye. The 8 great god eyes were unique, and they were the ancestors of all eye bloodlines. For example, the eye of samsara, the eye of spacetime, and the eye of death might only have a small number of descendants, such as the emperor of death. However, every existence that could be called a god's eye was unique. At the moment, there were only the 8 great god eyes, and they were all unique. Apart from them, there were also descendants of the god eyes. But this Zhao Feng isn't one of the 8 great god eyes. The purple saint partial spirit shook her head. However, this came from the emperor of death, a descendant of the 8 great god eyes. Being a descendant of the 8 great god eyes, the emperor of death could sense the aura of god eyes. If it's not one of the 8 great god eyes, could it be the newly awakened 9th god's eye? The light from the token of death started to dim. The pair of pitch-black eyes of death twinkled as they stared at Zhao Feng and started to think. Whoosh! Whoosh! Under the backlash of the god's spiritual eye's primordial aura, the token of death quickly dimmed, and with a cracking sound, it turned into powder. The intent of the pursuit of death will continue until the day it ends. The instant the token of death shattered, a cold voice sounded in Zhao Feng's mind. Plop! On the other side, the skeletal division leader sat down on the ground. As for Zhao Feng, he remained motionless as his god's spiritual eye constricted. The wisp of ancient aura had awakened and had yet to dissipate. Chapter 559. In the limitless ocean, on top of the mountain, the experts of the 3 sects stood there for a long time, unable to calm down. Even at the last moment, the intent of the pursuit of death wasn't able to take away Zhao Feng's soul. Where did Zhao Feng's eye bloodline come from? How can it fight against the eye of death? The experts of the 3 sects were puzzled. As they fought with Zhao Feng, they realized that this youth's potential seemed to be limitless. This was especially true for the mysterious left eye, which was an unsolvable mystery. Everyone started to wonder if Zhao Feng's eye bloodline was also a descendant of one of the god eyes. The 3 void god realm kings didn't understand. This was because Grandmaster Yin Kong had concluded that Zhao Feng's eye bloodline wasn't one of the 8 great god eyes. Zhao Feng's eye bloodline might be a mutation of one of the god eyes, or else it wouldn't be able to fight against the Eye of Death. There's another possibility. If Zhao Feng's bloodline is related to the 10,000 ancient races, it wouldn't be strange for him to be able to fight against the Eye of Death. After all, the power of the Eye of Death comes from another dimension, and it's completely different from the main body. The 3 Void God Realm Kings discussed in private. A measly junior at the True Lord rank was able to block the Emperor of Death's eye intent. This was indeed shocking. Even normal Void God Realm Kings wouldn't be able to block the pursuit of death. When suddenly, the image in the sky above the towering mountain gradually dimmed, showing signs of instability. The image of the Purple Saint ruins couldn't be seen clearly anymore. What's going on? There was a commotion on the field. Everyone looked at the array masters who had set up the formation. Due to some weird reasons, the connection between the spatial splitting array and the Purple Saint ruins has been broken. Adding on the fact that the Purple Saint ruins' flaws are becoming more and more complete. An array master explained. A while later. The projection on the towering mountain peak was already pitch black and murky. Everyone sighed. From this moment onwards, the 3 sects had no way of knowing what was going on inside the Purple Saint ruins. Hee. An Origin Core Realm Elder smiled and said, although we can't take the Purple Saint ruins right now, there's one thing we can be sure of. Zhao Feng will die for sure. Zhao Feng would definitely die. Everyone's spirits were lifted when they heard this. Some people didn't understand, but the 3 Void God Realms nodded their heads in agreement. Apparently, if the token of death doesn't kill its target, the owner, the Emperor of Death, will personally take action. A few thousand years ago, an emperor was even hunted down by the Emperor of Death. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess smiled. Under normal circumstances, the token of death could kill most experts in this world. Even some Void God Realm Kings weren't able to escape. Of course. If the token of death didn't kill the target, the will of death would continue. Up until now, no one had survived the Emperor of Death's pursuit. Yeah, he's a great emperor after all, and he has the Eye of Death. Our 3 sects don't even have a single Void God Realm Emperor. The other 2 kings also expressed their agreement. The power of an emperor at the Void God Realm far surpassed normal kings. The reason why Grandmaster Yin Kong had a token of death was because his grandfather had once helped the Emperor of Death, and the latter owed him a favor. Of course, the Emperor of Death is in another territory controlled by the spiritual sacred land. He's extremely far away from our spiritual sacred land and the Tianlu Islands. Looks like that Zhao Feng will be able to live for a while. Sighs sounded from the top of the mountain, and the number of people became fewer and fewer. Purple Saint Ruins, Mysterious Canyon, Zhao Feng stood still as his blue hair blew in the wind. His left eye still contained a wisp of the ancient era's aura. The connection between the 3 sects and the Purple Saint Ruins has been broken. Could this be the result of Zhao Feng's God's Eye clashing with the Eye of Death? The Purple Saint partial spirit was overjoyed. From this moment on, it would be extremely difficult for the 3 sects to enter the Purple Saint ruins again. At the same time, the Purple Saint partial spirit and the skeletal division leader both noticed the change in Zhao Feng's body. Zhao Feng remained motionless for a long time with his eyes closed. He didn't move for a long time, but the wisp of the ancient era's aura in his left eye caused the entire dimension of the ruins to tremble. Within the dimension of his left eye, the deep blue lake of eye power had expanded to a radius of 25 to 6 yards after the stimulation from before. Because he had expended a lot of his eye bloodline power, the lake had expanded, but only a thin layer remained. The mysterious whirlpool in the center of the lake started to change. A wisp of ancient aura seeped out from the mysterious whirlpool. The whirlpool was invisible, but it did exist. Zhao Feng carefully sent a wisp of his consciousness into the whirlpool. Shwa! Zhao Feng's consciousness suddenly went black. In the next instant, he entered a dreamlike state. Within the dream, Zhao Feng stood on a piece of desolate land. The aura here was extremely primal. Just by standing here, Zhao Feng felt a boundless pressure. His body and soul were facing an unimaginable weight. Of course. The aura here wasn't comparable to the heaven-earth yuan qi in the real world. Every speck of dust in the air seemed to contain limitless power. 1 breath, 2 breaths, 3 breaths. Wah! Zhao Feng couldn't hold on any longer and spat out a mouthful of blood. He couldn't even last more than a few breaths in this desolate land. Moreover, Zhao Feng's intuition told him that the god's spiritual eye was able to neutralize the rejection of the earth and provide some protection. Otherwise, even if he was 10 times stronger, his body would explode and he would die. I can't hold on anymore. Zhao Feng's vision went black and he disappeared from the dreamlike land. Shua! Zhao Feng's consciousness returned to the real world, and his face was weak. There was a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth, but it was still warm. What? Zhao Feng's face paled as he wiped the blood from his mouth. Could it be that the ancient dream desolate land wasn't a fake world? Just what kind of existence is the desolate land in the dream? I couldn't even last 3 breaths of time there. Zhao Feng was deeply shocked. If the ancient desolate land really existed, it was definitely an extremely high-level space. Zhao Feng even suspected that the ancient desolate land in the dream was related to the ancient desolate land. In a short period of time, Zhao Feng was extremely weak and he didn't dare to enter the mysterious whirlpool again. If the ancient desolate land really existed and there were some powerful beings that wanted to kill Zhao Feng, wouldn't they be able to do so with just a finger? After all, the injuries that Zhao Feng suffered were the same as the injuries in reality. This was simply unimaginable. Zhao Feng named the ancient dream realm the ancient dream realm. The ancient dream realm was something new that had appeared in the dimension of the god's spiritual eye due to the eye of death. I'll explore the ancient dream realm when I have time in the future. Zhao Feng calmed his mind. The most important thing right now was that Zhao Feng needed to take care of some problems. The token of death had failed to take away Zhao Feng's soul, but it didn't give up. Every time Zhao Feng closed his eyes to meditate, he could feel the invisible aura of the eye of death in his soul. It was like a ghost was attached to him. Zhao Feng's eye bloodline and soul were one. As long as he circulated his eye bloodline, the eye of death's intent would become stronger. Zhao Feng tried everything he could, but he couldn't shatter the eye of death's intent. His eye bloodline power couldn't be compared to the Emperor of Death's. One was a true lord rank, while the other was a void god realm emperor. The difference was like heaven and earth. Above the 3 realms of the true spirit realm was the origin core realm. The origin core realm was split into the small origin core realm and the great origin core realm. Above the origin core realm was the void god realm. The void god realm was split into normal kings and peak emperors. From this, the difference between Zhao Feng and the Emperor of Death was huge. Zhao Feng. It's best if you don't use your eye bloodline. Every time you use your eye bloodline, it will increase the connection between you and the Emperor of Death. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit warned. Zhao Feng's heart dropped as his eyebrows furrowed. At his level, he couldn't do anything to the eye of death's intent. Senior Purple Saint, do you have a way? Zhao Feng could only ask the Purple Saint Partial Spirit for help. After all, the owner of the Purple Saint Partial Spirit was at the Mystic Light Realm at her peak. I'm just an intent formed from a wisp of soul. I don't even have 1/10,000th of Master's power. I can only try and seal this intent of death for you. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit smiled bitterly. She was on the verge of dissipating. If she had enough power, she wouldn't need Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng sat down cross-legged and soon felt a wisp of remnant spirit intent enter his soul. 2 or 3 breaths later, The purple saint partial spirit harumphed as her partial spirit intent was bounced back. Zhao Feng, I'm sorry, but I can't seal this intent. I need at least a void god realm king that specializes in the Tao of the soul. The purple saint partial spirit said weakly. Is there really nothing you can do? Zhao Feng's heart was heavy. According to what the purple saint partial spirit said, the Emperor of Death would come looking for him sooner or later. No one had ever survived the pursuit of the Emperor of Death. I have a secret technique that can help you lower the sensitivity of the intent. The purple saint partial spirit thought for a while. The wisp of partial spirit intent soon circled around Zhao Feng's soul. Zhao Feng felt a mysterious aura appear around his soul. Zhao Feng, this is all I can do. I'll help you block at least 70% of the intent. The purple saint partial spirit's voice was filled with exhaustion. Thank you, senior. Zhao Feng closed his eyes and found that the sense of danger from the god's spiritual eye had decreased. He then tried to circulate his bloodline power to block the god's spiritual eye. Instantly, Zhao Feng's left eye regained its dim black color. Blocking the eye bloodline has reached 90%. Zhao Feng was overjoyed. Of course. At this point in time, Zhao Feng was sure that he wouldn't be able to stay in the Purple Saint ruins. Chapter 560. On the same day, Zhao Feng told the Purple Saint partial spirit and Zhao Yufei that he wanted to leave the ruins. On the third floor of the Relic Treasure Palace, the Purple Saint partial spirit let out a sigh of regret, but she wasn't surprised and couldn't make him stay. Indeed, Zhao Feng couldn't stay in the Purple Saint ruins any longer. He had the intent of death left behind by the Emperor of Death, so wherever he was, he could attract calamity. If Zhao Feng stayed in the ruins, not only would he not be able to protect this place, but he would also bring more danger to this place. The three sects had already brought a lot of pressure to the Purple Saint ruins. If another peak emperor came, the consequences would be unimaginable. Zhao Feng naturally did not wish to see such a situation. Zhao Feng, if your eye bloodline is really a god eye, then it's the same as the 8 great god eyes, it's unique. The Purple Saint partial spirit said. God eye? Uniqueness? Zhao Feng suddenly recalled the divination that 6 Warlock Sage had given him. The 6 Warlock Divine Sage once speculated that Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye had a chance of reaching the level of the 8 great god eyes. Every god eye is a connate object born after the destruction of the ancient era. There was only one of each of the 8 great god eyes in the world, and they were the progenitors. The other eye bloodlines of the same type only have a thin god eye bloodline. The Purple Saint partial spirit explained. Doesn't that mean that as long as the death god eye exists, other death elemental eye bloodlines can't become the same type of god eye? Zhao Feng vaguely realized something. The Purple Saint partial spirit seemed to be reminding him of something. That's right. The 8 great god eyes are related to the laws of the world's origin. Each god eye can only have one at a time. The Purple Saint partial spirit nodded her head. Is there no other way to cultivate a god eye? Zhao Feng was baffled. No. The Purple Saint partial spirit shook her head. Normal eye bloodlines can't become a god's eye no matter how hard they cultivate. He paused for a moment. The Purple Saint partial spirit then said meaningfully, it's said that if you want to have a god's eye, you have to be extremely powerful. The only method is to kill a god eye ancestor and replace him or steal a god eye. Steal a god eye. Zhao Feng's heart shook as he understood what the Purple Saint partial spirit meant. That was to say, as long as the Emperor of Death stole Zhao Feng's god eye, he would become the ancestor of a god eye. I still have to remind you. Although you've blocked over 90% of the intent of death from your body, the Emperor of Death can still sense your approximate location with his abilities. However, it's not very accurate. The Purple Saint partial spirit said. Junior understands. Even though Zhao Feng had blocked 90% of the aura of the will of death, the sense of danger still lingered. This was because Zhao Feng had only weakened the Emperor of Death's senses, not completely cut them off. Zhao Feng, you still have some time to prepare. You can take whatever resources you want from the Purple Saint ruins. You can take whatever resources you want from the Purple Saint ruins, and the Emperor of Death won't be able to catch up to you in a short amount of time. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit said with a smile. Thank you, Senior. Zhao Feng felt grateful. He had received a lot of resources from the 2 times he had entered the Purple Saint ruins. 3 days later. Zhao Feng's energy, soul, and eye bloodline power had all recovered to their peak. Next. Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader started to gather rare materials. Of course, most of them were for the 100 Corpses plan. From now on, I can't use my eye bloodline easily or else it will increase my connection with the Emperor of Death. The Ghost Corpse Cursed Array is an important part of my strength. Zhao Feng placed great importance on this. Half a month later. Everything was prepared. There was a mountain of materials in Zhao Feng's ancient metal ring. Some were for the 100 Corpses plan, while others were rare and could be used in the future. During this time, the skeletal division leader successfully refined more cursed ghost corpses. At this point in time, the 100 Corpses plan was 60% complete. The skeletal division leader had recovered to its peak state, and the speed at which it refined ghost corpses increased. However, Zhao Feng's expectations for the 100 Corpses plan had increased dramatically. All of the cursed ghost corpses in the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array had reached the peak True Lord rank. The strength of the 2 dark silver ghost corpses had reached the half-step origin core realm after using up many resources from the ruins. Zhao Feng's goal was to make these 2 dark silver ghost corpses reach the origin core realm in the end. I've prepared enough materials, but I still need to get closer to my goal. On this day, Zhao Feng finally came out of seclusion. 3rd floor of the Purple Saint Treasured Palace. Zhao Feng saw the Purple Saint Partial Spirit and Zhao Yufei once again. Senior Purple Saint, everything's ready. I'm going to leave. Zhao Feng took a deep breath. Zhao Yufei's eyes were misty, and she was reluctant to leave. While Zhao Feng was in the ruins as a housekeeper, she had a fulfilling life every day and her heart was at ease. Zhao Feng, where do you want to go? The Purple Saint Partial Spirit asked. Zhao Feng started to think. He already had an answer in his heart. Firstly, he couldn't go back to the Azure Flower Continent. At the very least, he couldn't go back before he avoided the danger. Furthermore, there was still a knot in his heart, and that was regarding his fiancée, Lu Qinxin. In his memory, the elegant and tranquil woman who was like a fairy from a painting, her every frown and every smile appeared in his mind. May I ask Senior Purple Saint if you know of an inheritance called the Sky Saint Qin? Zhao Feng asked. Sky Saint Qin inheritance. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit thought for a while and replied, from what I remember, there's a peak 2-star sect called the Sky Sacred Qin Palace in the southwest part of the Tsang Ocean that's controlled by the Floating Dream Sacred Land. Sky Saint Qin Palace. Unorthodox and special. Hearing this, Zhao Feng couldn't help but reveal a look of joy. The master of the Purple Saint Partial Spirit was indeed worthy of being a mighty figure that shook the universe. She had seen many things. Zhao Feng had a feeling that the Sky Saint Qin Palace and the Sky Saint Qin inheritance had some sort of relationship. However, that's a memory from 10,000 years ago. I can't estimate the current situation. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit added. Senior, can you teleport me to an area a bit closer to the Sky Saint Qin Palace? Zhao Feng begged. He had 2 reasons for leaving the Purple Saint ruins. Firstly, he wanted to run for his life, and secondly, he wanted to go to the outside world to confirm Lu Qinxin's location. The Sky Saint Qin Palace is too far away from here. I can only send you a bit further. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit said bitterly. In the next day or two, the Purple Saint Partial Spirit started to prepare for the teleportation. She needed the crystal stones in the Purple Saint ruins to reduce her energy consumption. 2 days later, the preparations for the teleportation were ready. Zhao Feng, my partial spirit intent is becoming thinner and thinner. I can only barely send you to the border of the Tianlu Islands. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit said apologetically. Zhao Feng was slightly surprised. Last time, the Purple Saint Partial Spirit could send him to the Azure Flower Continent, which was under the Azure Islands. But this time, after several years, the Purple Saint Partial Spirit's partial spirit intent was being used up and couldn't even send Zhao Feng to the outside of the Tianlu Islands. Thank you, Senior. However, even then, Zhao Feng felt satisfied. Before leaving, Brother Zhao Feng, why are you looking for the Sky Saint Qin inheritance? When can you return? Zhao Yufei's eyes reddened. She was reluctant to part with him. Zhao Feng didn't hide anything and told her why he was looking for Lu Qinxin. Lu Qinxin? Looking for your fiancé? Zhao Yufei stood rooted to the ground, stunned for a moment, as if she had suddenly received some bad news. When a purple crystal door appeared on the 3rd floor of the treasured palace. We'll meet again. Zhao Feng stepped into the purple crystal door with a single step. Before he left, Zhao Feng found that Zhao Yufei was dazed and her face was full of pain and sadness. That scene caused his heart to tremble, and he felt an indescribable pain and regret. However, the instant he stepped into the door, Zhao Feng had already disappeared. Yufei! Yufei! The Purple Saint Partial Spirit quickly called. On the 3rd level of the palace, Zhao Yufei appeared to be in a daze as she stood there for a long time. Crystal clear tears finally rolled down her beautiful and pale face. Why? Zhao Yufei's voice trembled slightly, filled with grief and sorrow. She placed her hand on her chest, her delicate body trembling. She did not know where this kind of disappointment and indescribable pain came from. Although it wasn't heart-wrenching, it lasted for a long time. It was like rain washing the stone in front of a door. Thinking about it, it had been 6 to 7 years since Zhao Feng and Zhao Yufei left the Zhao clan in Sunfeather City. Yufei, don't be too pessimistic. From what I can see, there's a 99% chance that Zhao Feng's fiancé, Lu Qinxin, died in the inheritance. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit said. Zhao Yufei's sobbing voice paused. Thinking about it, Lu Qinxin was most likely dead since there was no news of her for so long. Even the sage of the 6 Warlock had divined that something bad would happen to him. Zhao Feng's probably looking for Lu Qinxin because he doesn't want to leave a knot in his heart. You and him are childhood sweethearts. That kind of vague friendship is not something that Lu Qinxin can compare to. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit smiled and continued to console her. There were still traces of tears on Zhao Yufei's face, but the pain in her heart seemed to have disappeared. How good would it be if Lu Qinxin was already dead? A thought that made even Zhao Yufei feel ashamed and uneasy grew in her heart. At the same time, at the edge of the Tianlu Islands, a vast and boundless space was filled with a dusky sea of mist, vast and mysterious. This is the limitless ocean. Zhao Feng couldn't see the end of it. The limitless ocean was outside of the island, and it was different from land. Zhao Feng felt as if his body was weightless in the limitless ocean. Even if he didn't intentionally fly, his body was like a feather that floated in the air. The gravity and air resistance here were much lower than on land. Zhao Feng felt that if he flew here, his speed would be 10 times or even dozens of times faster than on land. My destination this time is another area ruled by the spiritual sacred land. It's in the Tsang Ocean. A map appeared in Zhao Feng's mind. It was provided by the Purple Saint Partial Spirit. However, right at this moment, Zhao Feng's heart jumped as he felt a familiar yet strange feeling along with a sense of danger. Furthermore, the source of this feeling wasn't the Emperor of Death, but something else. Zhao Feng's expression changed dramatically. Only then did he realize that he had overlooked something. Chapter 561. Tianlu Islands, Pure Moon Spiritual Sect. In the middle of a lake that was enshrouded by a dense and splendid light, a holy and dignified woman in a moon robe was lingering in the faint glow of the moon, like a white jade statue of the goddess of stars and moon. You finally appeared. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's eyebrows jumped as a cold smile appeared on her lips. Whoosh! The Saint Moon Ant Goddess waved her hand, and a mottled giant scorpion appeared in front of her. Its body was comparable to a water buffalo, and it had a pair of icy red eyes that shrunk, giving off an indescribable chill. At this moment, the giant scorpion's eyes flickered, and there was a slight struggle before it fell silent again. Pass on the order. Zhao Feng has appeared in the Tianlu Islands. He's probably near the 8 Desolate Mountain on the southern border. What experts are guarding the 8 Desolate Mountain? In the name of the Pure Moon Spiritual Sect, find Zhao Feng's location and offer a reward for his capture. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess flipped her hand over a special token. Invisible ripples spread out between the heavens and the earth. As a 2.5-star sect, the Pure Moon Spiritual Sect had a dominant position in the Tianlu Islands. Less than an hour later, the ripples of information reached outside the island region where the Pure Moon Spiritual Sect was located. It had to be known. The island region where the Pure Moon Spiritual Sect was located was several times larger than the Azure Flower continent. In the entire Tianlu Islands, there were dozens of islands of a similar size. Even a void god realm king like the Saint Moon Ant Goddess wouldn't be able to personally chase after Zhao Feng in such a large area. Crackle! Suddenly, a wisp of invisible and obscure psychic fluctuation flashed across the giant scorpion's body. This Zhao Feng reacted quickly. He's already severed the blood contract with his spiritual pet. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's expression darkened. At the same time, far away in the distance, in the sea of space, I can only give up on this giant scorpion. Zhao Feng opened his eyes, and his mind trembled as he groaned. Forcefully erasing the blood contract with the giant scorpion had injured Zhao Feng's mind. Zhao Feng felt slightly more at ease after doing all this. Without the giant mutated scorpion's spiritual connection, the 3 great sects couldn't sense his location at all times. I have to leave the Tianlu Islands region as soon as possible. Zhao Feng's expression was solemn. Before departing, Zhao Feng had a preliminary understanding of the situation in the outer realms. In the Tianlu Archipelago region, the 3 strongest factions were naturally the Pure Moon Spirit Sect, Black Cliff Palace, and Moon Demon Hall. They controlled dozens of so-called continents similar in size to the Azure Flower continent. Zhao Feng was enemies with the 3 sections. Now that he had appeared in this island zone, how could he still have a foothold? Thankfully, the Purple Saint Partial Spirit teleported Zhao Feng to the edge of the Tianlu Islands. The Tianlu Archipelago region, near the Ancient Tree region. 8 Desolate Mountain. A set of map information appeared in Zhao Feng's mind. This map recorded the geographical location of the entire Ash-Gray Sea. The Ash-Gray Sea was a vast and boundless sea region of the Void Sea. On the map, there were hundreds of islands similar to the Tianlu Archipelago region and the ancient Azure Islands region. The Azure Flower continent that Zhao Feng was originally on was just a small part of the ancient Azure Islands region. From this, just how big was the Ash-Gray Sea? Furthermore, aside from these islands, the Ash-Gray Sea also had many small isolated islands or some special geographical features. For example, the nearby 8 Desolate Mountain. 8 Desolate Mountain. After passing through several million miles, I'll be able to leave the Tianlu Archipelago region. Zhao Feng's body was surrounded by the light of wind lightning. Whoosh! A purple and azure beam of wind lightning tore through the limitless ocean. The limitless ocean wasn't just a normal ocean. In this world, every dimension is a misty ocean. The higher you go, the thinner and fainter the mist. The lower you go, the thicker the mist. As Zhao Feng flew, he kept his guard up. The void misty sea was home to some alien races, all sorts of strange sea creatures, and even some natural threats. The bottom layer of the misty ocean was extremely viscous. When the misty ocean formed water droplets, it was a true ocean. The ocean wasn't suitable for humans to live in. In reality, in the limitless ocean, only the islands and sacred lands were suitable for humans to live in. After the ancient desolate continent was destroyed, billions of grains of dust were scattered across heaven and earth. These grains formed domains that were suitable for normal beings to live in. For humans, the limitless ocean was a desolate domain. Only a small number of beasts and races could live here. Xu Xiaofeng flew faster and faster through the limitless ocean. He was already 10 times faster than when he was in the azure flower continent. In the limitless ocean, the air resistance and gravity were extremely low. Even those at the consolidated realm and ascended realm could easily fly here. However, the air here was extremely thin and the pressure was abnormal. Those below the true spirit realm could explode and die if they entered the limitless ocean. At the very least, they wouldn't be able to survive for a long time. The heaven-earth yuan qi is also very thin. If I fly for too long, I'll need primal crystal stones. Zhao Feng couldn't help but sigh. Gulu after flying for tens of thousands of miles, thick bubbles of essence qi appeared in the seawater beneath the sea of fog. In the deep sea, there is a specific region of yuan qi. However, there are usually some alien races or powerful demon beasts living there. Zhao Feng was wary. He usually didn't get too close to the ocean while flying. Several large, black figures suddenly rose from the water, stirring up waves of water. Their powerful demonic auras far surpassed the beasts Zhao Feng had encountered in the azure flower continent. Looking closely, it was several black water snakes. Each of them was as thick as a bucket and 7 or 8 yards long. The black water snakes were extremely strong and could fly freely in the air after charging out of the ocean. This was because the gravity and air resistance in the limitless ocean were extremely low. Furthermore, these black water snakes had powerful auras and weren't normal beings. See. These pitch-black water snakes seemed to have some sort of sense of smell, and they shot through the air toward Zhao Feng from a distance of more than a dozen miles. Each of these water snakes has the strength of at least the true mystic rank, right? Zhao Feng didn't retreat. He wanted to test the strength of the beings in the limitless ocean. He had heard from Patriarch Hong that the minimum requirement to travel across the limitless ocean was to be at the true lord rank. Normal true lord ranks were in great danger and wouldn't be able to survive in the outer world. The danger would decrease after reaching the half-step origin core realm. Only those at the origin core realm would be able to enter the outer world without worry. Patriarch Hong had suggested that Zhao Feng enter the outer world after reaching the half-step origin core realm. However, Zhao Feng didn't have the cultivation of the half-step origin core realm yet. Destroy. Zhao Feng gently raised his hand and sent several azure blades of wind and lightning through the air. Shoo! Shoo! The black water snakes' bodies were sliced in half and blood splattered as their corpses fell into the ocean. They can't threaten me if they haven't reached the origin core realm. Zhao Feng smiled faintly. Gugugu! All of a sudden, the seawater within a radius of several hundred miles surged violently, and waves surged violently. Zhao Feng suddenly felt uneasy. Because he couldn't easily use his god's spiritual eye, he didn't understand the situation in the ocean too well. He sent out a sliver of his spiritual sense and jumped up in fright. Even though Zhao Feng's spiritual sense was limited in the limitless ocean, his spiritual sense was limited. A sudden change occurred. Bam bam bam. Bam bam bam. Within several hundred miles, large amounts of beasts, mainly water snakes, leapt out of the ocean and entered the limitless ocean. So So. Some of these beasts were as small as a palm while others were as big as small mountains. All of the creatures in the void sea could leave the sea for a short period of time and soar through the void sea. More than a dozen large beasts had auras comparable to half-step origin core realms. They were probably even stronger than normal half-step origin core realms. Furthermore, the other large amounts of black water snakes all had auras at the true spirit realm. These beasts seemed to follow the source of the smell of blood and charged over. Run! Zhao Feng's scalp went numb as he saw more and more beasts appear. Some of them even flew above his head. Wind lightning tornado. Zhao Feng used an area of effect wind lightning tornado that swept across a radius of 1 to 2 miles. In an instant, large swaths of the limitless ocean beasts and living beings that got close to Zhao Feng died, and their blood formed an ocean. However, the aura of blood and slaughter attracted more and more powerful beasts. Zhao Feng heard a deep roar come from the depths of the ocean. There was probably a beast at the origin core realm that had sensed something and was heading in this direction. In a short while, tens of thousands of beasts charged out of the limitless ocean and entered the limitless ocean. Master! This is probably your first time entering the limitless ocean. This is the territory of the limitless ocean beasts, and we can't leave any blood behind or else countless powerful beasts will come. The skeletal division leader within the 10,000 Ghost Pearl was also alerted. Zhao Feng knew that he had made a huge mistake. Let's get out of this area first. Under the guidance of the skeletal division leader, Zhao Feng flew higher and passed through some of the creatures in the limitless ocean. However, he couldn't fly too high. If they were too high up, there would be terrifying astral winds. Even venerables would be torn to pieces. Furthermore, if he flew too high, the limitless ocean would be burned by the ancient golden crow. Even a void god realm king's body and soul would be burnt to ashes if they were directly hit by the primordial golden crow. Human, where do you think you're going? Among the sea creatures, there were even some humanoid creatures with skin like fish scales. They held long tridents in their hands and spoke the human language. Whoosh! Zhao Feng didn't have time to pay attention to them. He flew 1,000 miles in one go and tried not to fight. Only then did the number of beasts decrease. The heaven-earth yuan qi in the limitless ocean is thin. It's not suitable for humans to fight here for too long. Zhao Feng felt that his true force was being used up quickly and being replenished quickly. If this continued, he would need primal crystal stones and other items to recover. At the same time, a few dozen miles behind Zhao Feng, a ship covered in metal flew over. It was around 20 to 30 yards long. The color of the ship was similar to the limitless ocean, and it was hard to detect. Boss seems to be an idiot. He dares to enter the limitless ocean alone with his late-stage True Lord rank cultivation. Some ferocious figures appeared on the gray metal ship. Look at this brat's poor appearance. Rob him. We won't be able to get anything out of him and will instead expose our tracks. Chapter 562. Zhao Feng let out a breath after killing his way out. Master, we've been targeted by a group of pirates. The skeletal division leader spoke from within the 10,000 Ghost Pearl. Void pirates? Zhao Feng didn't pay much attention when he was trying to break out, but he did notice something now. The main reason was that Zhao Feng had the aura of death in his soul, so he couldn't easily use the god's spiritual eye. Even if he used his spiritual sense, Zhao Feng couldn't use it in a large area. In essence, the senses of spiritual sense also came from the mind and soul. Void pirates are a group of bandits that roam the void sea. They usually work in groups and rob traveling merchants and pedestrians. However, from the looks of it, they don't seem to be planning on doing anything to Master. The skeletal division leader revealed a weird expression as it spoke. It specialized in the Tao of the ghost, so its mental energy senses were extremely sharp. The conversation of the pirates on the gray ship didn't escape the Skeletal Division leader's ears. What made the Skeletal Division leader want to laugh and cry was that these pirates thought that Zhao Feng was poor and didn't have anything to offer, so they didn't bother robbing him. The Skeletal Division leader didn't know how to describe what it was feeling. The wealth that Zhao Feng had was something that even an old origin core realm like it would go crazy with jealousy. Putting aside the Earth-grade inheritance weapon and the 10,000 ghost pearl, just the resources that Zhao Feng had probably surpassed a normal one-star sect. Before leaving, Zhao Feng had excavated a large amount of resources in the Purple Saint ruins, filling up the majority of his ancient metal ring. These pirates would never have thought that this youth in front of them had so much wealth that they wouldn't be able to catch up even if they robbed for hundreds or thousands of years. So. At this moment, there were still a few scattered sea creatures in the vicinity, all of them rushing over to pursue Zhao Feng. Although Zhao Feng had escaped, he wasn't completely out of danger. Go! He didn't dare to stay any longer and continued to fly away. In his mind, the geography of the Tianlu archipelago region and this border region appeared with great clarity. This area belongs to the 8 Desolate Mountain. Zhao Feng looked ahead. Unfortunately, his left eye had returned to its normal black color and was unable to see through the mist, much less into the distance. Whoosh! In the fog sea behind him, the gray metal ship was flying steadily and silently. The gray metal ship was covered in armor. The material was hard and strange. Attacks from ordinary sea creatures couldn't even leave a mark on it. The interior of the metal ship had its own layout. There were at least dozens of rooms. In the middle, there was even a small meeting hall. Boss, that brat is actually flying along the same route as us. Will it interfere with our plan? One of them, a scar-faced thug, said in a stern voice. He doesn't know what's good for him. Let us go over and get rid of him. No matter how thin a fly's leg is, it's still meat. The pirates were getting impatient. At this moment, Zhao Feng, who was flying in front, attracted the attention of this pirate crew. Apart from that, Zhao Feng's flight path and speed were very close to that of the gray ship. Endure it for a while. At the head of the table was a scholarly youth in blue. He was extremely handsome and didn't fit in with the vicious appearance of the pirate leader. The pirate leader in blue seemed to be deep in thought. There are more sea creatures nearby, and there's even the aura of a sovereign not long ago. If this brat affects our plan, killing him 10,000 times won't be enough to make up for it. As they spoke, the pirates were filled with disdain for Zhao Feng's existence, and they were still brooding over it. They couldn't kill him, but it would affect their mood if they didn't. Whoosh! Zhao Feng followed the map in his mind and flew forward. However, what made him speechless was that the pirates behind him were staring at him and not doing anything. The Skeletal Division leader didn't understand. At this moment, the pirates had all entered the interior of the metal ship, so it didn't dare to go too deep. After flying for tens of thousands of miles, the silhouette of a huge mountain range loomed in the distant sky, standing tall in the sea of void. In the sea of void, the higher one went, the thinner the sea of mist became. In the end, it became even brighter. Therefore, even from far away, one could see the outline of the mountain range. That's the 8 Desolate Mountain. Zhao Feng could feel the heaven-earth yuan qi here. Although it wasn't as dense as the Azure Flower Continent, it was still several times denser than normal. According to the map, the 8 Desolate Mountain was the only place that was suitable for humans to live in within several million miles. In the limitless ocean, apart from islands like the Green Flower Continent, there were many other places that weren't truly continents. These places included deserts, mountains, swamps, lakes, etc. Apart from that, there were also many strange and unimaginable places. The 8 Desolate Mountain in front of them was the size of the cloud area, and it was mainly made up of mountains. At the same time, Boss, the target has appeared. The expressions of the pirates on the gray ship changed. The pirate leader in blue nodded his head faintly. "We can attack when we're a bit closer." "Humph, when I make my move later, I'll get rid of that brat as well." The scarred pirate licked his lips. So the gray ship sped up. Zhao Feng, who was flying at the front, felt that something was wrong. It wasn't just the pirate ship behind him. So after traveling for another few hundred miles, a small dark blue ship appeared in the fog ahead. The dark blue fortress ship was the size of an ordinary 3-story building. It was surrounded by a layer of faint blue wind, and it rode the wind and waves in the sea of void mist. As soon as Zhao Feng got close, he felt several powerful auras, all at the half-step origin core realm. These pressuring energies seemed to be warning Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng was alone in this foreign land, so he obviously didn't want to attract any trouble, so he decided to take a detour. Ha ha ha. A measly late-stage true lord rank dares to travel alone in the limitless ocean? Could this brat be some young master that ran away from home? Several figures appeared on the dark blue ship, and when they saw Zhao Feng's figure, they teased him with playful expressions. Obviously, it was rare for someone at the true lord rank to travel alone in the limitless ocean. On the dark blue ship, the leader was an elder with his hands behind his back. The people next to him were all at the half-step origin core realm. Origin core realm. Zhao Feng felt a faint mental energy aura coming from the elder in flower robes. The elder in flowery robes only faintly glanced over Zhao Feng and didn't pay him much attention. The closest island is tens of millions of miles away. His cultivation isn't much different from mine, but he's able to cross the limitless ocean. Incredible. The voice of a girl sounded. Next to the sovereign elder was an ordinary-looking girl. Her eyes twinkled as she looked at Zhao Feng with admiration. Hearing this, some of the figures who were laughing were stunned. It wasn't normal for a measly late-stage true lord rank to be able to cross the limitless ocean by himself and come out unharmed. There's definitely something wrong with this youth. The eyes of several older experts on the dark blue ship twinkled with suspicion and wariness. Zhao Feng was just about to go around the ship when he felt the suspicious gazes and heard their conversation. He almost rolled his eyes. Right at this moment, a chilling murderous intent came from the sea of mist behind him. Whoosh, the gray ship sped up and closed in. The sovereign elder felt that Zhao Feng's existence was weird and started to scan with his spiritual sense. Everyone watch out. There's an ambush from the pirates nearby. His expression changed dramatically as he scanned with his spiritual sense. Instantly, more than a dozen figures on the dark blue ship acted as if they were facing a great enemy. I told you there's definitely something wrong with this brat. I'm afraid he's a spy from the Void Pirate Group. Several of the older experts, including the Sovereign Elder, glared at Zhao Feng with enmity. But now, the focus wasn't on Zhao Feng anymore. On the gray metal ship, dozens of powerful and brutal auras tore through the air and approached them. The leader of the pirates was a blue-clothed scholar. As he flew, he carried an indescribably vast yuan qi power, causing wisps of light blue water lightning ripples to appear. Without a doubt, this pirate in blue also had the cultivation of the origin core realm. Not good. It's the blue lightning pirates. The old man's heart sank, and he couldn't help but take a deep breath while he gazed at the blue-clothed scholar with a gaze that carried deep fear. Blue lightning pirates. One of the top 10 pirate groups near the 8 Desolate Mountain. Chaos broke out on the dark blue ship. Whoosh, the blue lightning pirates had the weakest cultivation at the peak true lord rank, and there were 5 or 6 at the half-step origin core realm. The dozen or so people on the ship formed an array as if they were facing a great enemy. The blue lightning pirates had the advantage in terms of numbers and the quality of their elites. Arg! As soon as the two sides clashed, screams came from the ship. Blue lightning pirate, stop. I don't have anything valuable on this ship. If you want a ransom, we can talk about it. There's no need to fight to the death. The sovereign elder quickly stopped him. Usually, void pirates would come for treasures. Essentially, it was a kind of resource robbery. Sometimes, merchant groups were willing to pay a fee or ransom to ensure the safety of the people. Old Huang, I don't need any ransom. As long as you hand over Lady Lulan, I'll let you live. The scholar in blue smiled faintly. Lady Lulan? How do you know? The flower-robed venerable was aghast. His heart sank in disbelief. The blue-clad scholar did not attack for now. He smiled faintly as he looked at the plain-looking, bright-eyed girl beside the flower-clothed venerable. Impossible. The sovereign elder's voice was cold. Even if I die, I'll bring Lady Lulan back to the Pure Moon spiritual sect. The Lulan family is on her. Kill everyone. Capture Lulan Jishue alive. The scholar in blue ordered. Instantly. The two sides started to fight in the air. So that's how it is. Zhao Feng couldn't help but understand why this pirate group hadn't done anything to him yet. However, it didn't seem to have anything to do with him. Zhao Feng's expression didn't change as he prepared to go around. Zhe. You want to run in front of the Blue Lightning pirates? A scarred man with 2 peak True Lord ranks charged in Zhao Feng's direction. Chapter 563. The two sides started fighting on the limitless sea. The void pirates had an overwhelming advantage. The pirates were vicious and experienced. They split up and surrounded the ship. Boom! The two sovereigns clashed in the air, and the heaven-earth yuan qi howled and created a storm that swept across dozens of miles. Everlasting water lightning. The blue-clothed pirate leader waved his hand, and waves of dazzling water and lightning splendor appeared, combining toughness and gentleness to form a water screen with a diameter of 1,000 feet. Whoosh! Whoosh! When the old man's palms approached the lightning pattern on the water screen, they were instantly weakened and dissipated. A portion of them was even absorbed by the lightning pattern. In the next instant, the limitless water lightning pattern glowed dazzlingly and formed a reverse vortex. The raging water lightning created an immeasurable backlash. Bam! After exchanging a blow, the old man was forced back a few steps and let out a muffled groan. The information was indeed correct. Old man Huang, you're only a measly middle-stage small origin core realm. Even if you weren't injured, you wouldn't be my match. The blue-clothed pirate leader was relaxed as he circulated his profound water lightning Upanishad to suppress the venerable one. So, the sovereign on the ship was still injured and could only use 70 to 80% of his battle power. The Origin Core Realm is split into the Small Origin Core Realm and the Great Origin Core Realm, which are split into early, middle, and late stages. Zhao Feng's gaze swept over the two sovereigns. The sovereign was at the middle stage Small Origin Core Realm, and his strength was roughly the same as the Skeletal Division leader. On the other hand, the pirate leader in blue was at the late stage Small Origin Core Realm. Whether it was in terms of cultivation or the profoundness of their battle skills, the blue-clothed pirate leader was far superior. What interested Zhao Feng the most was that the pirate leader in blue cultivated the water lightning inheritance. Water lightning, wood lightning, wind lightning, these were all inheritances related to lightning. Zhao Feng's wind lightning inheritance focused on speed and offense. On the other hand, the pirate leader in blue's water lightning inheritance focused on both offense and defense. In terms of defense, the pirate leader in blue's water lightning inheritance had the advantage. Little featherhead. How dare you get distracted in front of us? The scarred man led the other two pirates and charged over with a ferocious momentum. However, this youth did not seem to be in the right state of mind. To think that he had the time to pay attention to the battle between two primal core cultivators. This is probably the kid's first time entering the Void Sea. He has never seen such a grand scene before. The other peak true lord rank pirate was full of disdain. Swoosh! Swoosh! The scar-faced man and the other two pirates quickly surrounded Zhao Feng. One of the peak true lord ranks waved a silver whip that turned into a silver dragon that wrapped around Zhao Feng. Supreme grade spirit rank divine weapon. Zhao Feng showed surprise on his face. The strength of these pirates surpassed his expectations. After all, the dark aureole used by the vice leader of the Iron Blood sect was only close to the top grade of the spirit rank, and it might even be comparable to the top grade of the spirit rank. On the other hand, on the Void Sea, an ordinary pirate used a powerful spiritual supreme grade divine weapon right off the bat. But on second thought, the minimum requirement to travel the limitless ocean was to be a true lord rank. These void pirates were able to rob the merchants on the Void Sea. In their respective regions, they were definitely peerless experts who commanded the wind and clouds. In the blink of an eye, the silver dragon whip howled, sealing off Zhao Feng's path of retreat. The one who attacked was only one of the pirates. The other two had playful expressions as if they were watching a good show. It was obvious that they thought that one person was enough to kill Zhao Feng. The reason why they sent three was because they were wary of Zhao Feng's speed. Fuck off. Zhao Feng didn't dodge the silver dragon whip. Instead, an azure light appeared on his palm and a powerful ripple of wind and lightning swept across everything within 100 yards. Wu the pirate who attacked harumphed as his body went numb. Shwa! Before he could react, a dazzling ray of wind and thunder split his body apart at lightning speed. Arg! The peak true lord rank screamed and died on the spot. This scene made the hearts of the scar-faced man and the other peak true lord rank jump. So fast. The two were dazed for a short period of time. They originally thought that they would be able to kill this brat, but in the blink of an eye, he had killed a pirate. Watch out. This brat's wind lightning inheritance is extremely profound. The scar-faced man's eyes flashed as he released the aura of a half-step origin core realm. The remaining two pirates had solemn expressions and didn't dare to underestimate Zhao Feng. Even the scar-faced man, who was at the half-step origin core realm, wasn't confident that he could kill a peak true lord rank pirate in one move. Kill! The scar-faced man and the other pirate exchanged glances and attacked Zhao Feng together. The attacks of the half-step origin core realm and peak true lord rank enveloped Zhao Feng with a gust of wind. This power could instantly kill a normal true lord rank with the flip of a hand. AI. A sigh sounded from the 10,000 Ghost Pearl. The skeletal division leader felt sorry for these pirates. More than one or two sovereigns had died in Zhao Feng's hands, let alone these small shrimps. Even if Zhao Feng couldn't easily use his eye bloodline, he could basically ignore anyone under the origin core realm. Shwa! The attacks of the two pirates destroyed the afterimages left behind. Arg! The other peak true lord rank screamed as he was sliced in half by a blade of wind and lightning. See! The scar-faced man couldn't help but take in a cold breath. Even a half-step origin core realm wouldn't be able to catch up to this youth's speed. A peak true lord rank pirate could be killed like a carrot in front of him. What's going on? The deaths of two pirates in a row by Zhao Feng caught the attention of the other pirates. Even the blue-clothed pirate leader, who was in the middle of battle, glanced over. However, before the pirates could figure out what was going on, Zhao Feng attacked for the third time and slashed the scar-faced man. Whoosh! It was still a flash of wind and lightning, but there was a wisp of purple lightning that made the hearts of the spectators tremble instinctively. 8 Slaughter Sky Sealing Fist. The scar-faced man exerted all of his strength and unleashed his trump card. He struck out 8 illusory fist imprints that faintly emitted an ancient and barbaric aura. Layers upon layers of seals enveloped this part of the world. One had to admit that the scar-faced man's strength had surpassed Tiamat's and many half-step origin core realms in the Azure Flower continent. However, the scarred man's powerful secret technique was destroyed by the purple destruction tempest. It couldn't even withstand a single blow. Arg! The scar-faced man's body was sliced in half, leaving behind 2 pieces of charred flesh. This scene caused the hearts of both the pirates and the ship to shake. This youth's battle power is terrifying. Respect and even fear appeared in the eyes of the 2 sides. In an instant, a half-step origin core realm and 2 true lord ranks had been slain by this youth. This youth isn't simple. I'm the top genius in the 8 desolate mountain, but compared to him, I'm nothing. The bright-eyed girl, Lulan Jishue, clicked her tongue and found it hard to calm down. After losing 3 pirates, the situation attracted the attention of the blue-clothed pirate leader. Could that youth's technique be? The blue-clothed pirate leader was surprised when he noticed the situation. It wasn't just Xiao Feng's strength. The profoundness of his wind lightning technique also attracted the attention of the blue-clothed pirate leader. The blue-clothed pirate leader cultivated the water and lightning lineage's legacy cultivation method. However, he knew that it wasn't comparable to Xiao Feng's wind lightning inheritance. Hong San, Jiao Si. With a wave of his hand, the blue-clothed bandit leader beat the flower-robed venerable man until he vomited blood. Then, he ordered his 2 capable subordinates to take action. Boss, we'll stall that brat. Among the void pirates attacking the ship, 2 small leaders with powerful auras retreated. One of them was an elder with a walking stick, and the other was an ugly man wearing a unique set of scales. Both of their cultivations were at the half-step origin core realm, but their auras were stronger than the scarred man's. Brat! How dare you kill my brother? I'll skin you layer by layer. The scaly man sneered as a broken crimson-black blade appeared in his hand. The scarlet-black blade radiated a wisp of the terrifying aura of an earth-grade weapon, and the nearby beings all felt a suffocating pressure. Broken earth-grade weapon. Xiao Feng's eyes narrowed. The walking stick elder's was even more unique, and its aura was between the peak spiritual grade and low-tier earth grade. Pseudo-earth grade weapon. The skeletal division leader in the 10,000 Ghost Pearl exclaimed. Zhao Feng had heard about pseudo-earth grade weapons. They were made from a broken earth grade weapon and merged with the essence of a spiritual grade weapon to create a complete weapon. Although pseudo-earth grade weapons weren't as strong as true earth grade weapons, they were more complete than broken earth grade weapons. Brat, stay behind. The old man with the walking stick and the scaly man made their moves at the same time. The illusory figures of 2 earth-grade divine weapons appeared in the sky, faintly emitting a divine might that looked down on the world. Zhao Feng's expression changed as he was trapped by the auras of the 2 earth-grade weapons. With these 2 teaming up, they'll be able to stall even normal sovereigns for a while. The wind lightning on Zhao Feng's body became brighter, and wisps of destruction wind lightning started to appear. Shua! Shua! Zhao Feng's speed and the power of his attacks rose to a whole new level. Pa! Boom! A layer of wind and lightning swept out, forming a vast storm that emitted an aura of destruction that could penetrate the very essence of living beings. The walking stick elder and the ugly man weren't scared at all as they teamed up to destroy the tornado of wind lightning. However, at the same time, a dazzling lightning shadow charged out of the combined attack of the 2 and launched another counterattack. Purple destruction, wind lightning whip. A whip of wind lightning formed in Zhao Feng's hand. It was dozens of yards long and contained the power of wind lightning yuan qi. Pa! Pa! Boom! As the purple destruction wind lightning whip danced in the air, wind and lightning exploded. It was filled with a destructive wind and lightning aura as it fought fiercely with the 2 pirate captains. What kind of inheritance did this brat cultivate? His battle power is terrifying. The 2 pirate leaders had a broken earth-grade weapon and a pseudo-earth-grade weapon, but they couldn't gain any advantage. Purple destruction wind lightning? Could it really be the inheritance of the legendary Wind Lightning Emperor? On the other side, the blue-clothed bandit leader's heart began to beat rapidly. He was completely attracted to this battle. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.